Ah, beauty, fuck you. I was gonna figure it out anyways, man. I was gonna figure it out on my own. You guys ruined it. Ah, muted. I was gonna figure it the fuck out, man. What's good? Ah! Look, all right. Wow. Look, the camera. What the fuck, man? Luke. Why does it look like this, man? I wore this shirt on a date the other day, by the way. I'm not gonna lie, it was a movie. What's good? Look, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the fucking stream. This has been honestly one of the craziest days I've ever witnessed in markets before. I don't know what else to say other than absolute cinema in the order books. I don't care if you care about oil or geopolitics or anything. You have like a fiscal obligation, responsibility, if you're interested in finance, to watch what's happening in the crude order books. Like, you just do. You have to watch it. You can't not pay attention to what's going on right now. And guys, I'm just going to say that the Calvin interview from yesterday, all of a sudden, look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Okay, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a loony. I'm not fucking, I haven't fully lost it. And I'm just going to say that you got to take what happened yesterday and then what happened today and just think, man, the timing, at the very least, the timing is unreal. So look, we're coming to a close here. Bitcoin, weak. Crypto weak. Who's here for morning stream, by the way? Second stream of the day. Software, just a disaster. SPY is somehow going to close red. Deservingly so. SPY does not deserve to close green today. I'm sorry. Russell's going to close green. Brent is around 89 right now. CL is 87 and they're candling. Energy is going to close red across the board outside of that. Defense, nasty. I closed Palantir today because I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing something stupid, but I closed Palantir for like plus 20s and some change percent. Not at the highs, but it was a nice little trade. Happy about it. Got to post a P&L screenshot in Victory Lap. Chemicals are going to close red. What's a banger to steal? Where I don't see it. Wait, what did he tweet? The trading for moves got me thinking about how I ran instead of making you mine. Oh my god. Nvidia's gonna close green, but barely. The whole war got me thinking about how I'm not straight. Is crazy. Yeah, not the cleanest day today, but the main interest here obviously is oil. And what I witnessed in the oil order books today, dude, I'm a crypto trader. And so I witnessed fuckery all day, every day. I've seen every manipulation and scam and twist and weird this and weird. I've seen everything you could have ever imagined in your ever. Crypto order books. It's like we were here for all of it. And I'm just going to say that what I watched today is fucking ridiculous. And if you didn't follow it, it's your lucky day because I follow it. This is all that I do. And we have a lot to talk about. By the way, chat, does the camera look weird? Camera look weird to you guys? Camera look weird. A little bit, right? It's like really hot. Let me fix the light real quick. This is about the best I could do. It's a little rose colored, a little warm. All right. Look, I don't want to waste a lot of time. I want to get right into it. By the way, we have Jonah, professional oils trader, who said to fade this move the whole way, is coming on stream today because we're talking. Every oil trader in the world is like the biggest doomer in the history of the world. And he's the only one that has an optimistic outlook. So I'm going to bring Jonah on for 30 minutes. If you hate him, we'll kick him off, but I think you're going to like him. Okay? I think you're going to like him. We have a lot to cover. We have a lot to get into. Before I tell you what the fuck I just witnessed today, if you didn't, roll call, baby. Roll call, roll call, roll call, roll call. Cats, what's good? Miss DJ, what's good? DNAB, Justin, Rockefeller, Bongo, Viblet, Caleb, Kevin, Alex, J-Led, Emmerich, Sweat, Bongo, what's good? Spoon, what's good? Bongo, Dorothy, I haven't done that shit in a while. Poca, what's good? Kira, what's good? Houdini Swap, Wavy, Teo, the whole squad. First time chatter, welcome, 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 welcome. MLK, welcome, welcome, welcome. K-Cuff, Stone, Pipe Bomb, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Dylan, what's good? What's good? Juice, what's good? Kudo, what's good? What's good? We good music. Alex, Large Leo, Rectal, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Pipe Bomb is crazy, I know. Your name's hard to read. Oh, Drock, what's good, Drock? Sai, what's good? Joey, what's good? All right, what's good? What's good? What's good? All right, look. Bandit, what's up? What's up? DJ Slumbo, what's good? What's good? Jeebus, Tom Brady, welcome back. Spicy Meatball, good to see you, my brother. All right, let's just. Are you be repping morning streams every day? Probably Monday, maybe Tuesday. Definitely not tomorrow. Fridays are boring, and Thursday I'm tired, so don't get used to it. Let us just get it right into what happened, because I think it was pretty fucking crazy. So okay. I had a whole like. Also, is YouTube live, by the way? Can anyone tell? Because I can't. Okay, we're good. All right, look. Here's what I just witnessed. Okay, I was gonna do a whole like war recap. I'll go backwards after the fact because the last 30 minutes have been some of the craziest 30 minutes I've ever witnessed in markets. Okay, and I'm gonna say something bold, and I'm just I'm not. I'm just reporting to you what I've seen. Okay, and in the last 30 minutes, there is no adjective I can use to describe what I've just witnessed in the order books of oil other than blatant manipulation. Like, there's no other word I can use other than pure manipulation, pure, unfiltered, raw manipulation in oil. I don't exactly know from who or how or why or who called it or who is in charge or who is running, but there is just no other. I'm not an alarmist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. And at the time, I didn't have any longs open. There is no other word for me to use other than blatant manipulation in the order books. Okay, and here's what I'm talking about. I'll show you exactly what happened because it's pretty wild. So, all right, we're basically at a standoff right now. Okay, we are at a standoff right now where 20% of the world's oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz and it's closed. Nothing is getting through as far as we know. There's been a few reports that a couple oil tankers have, turned off their transmission and made a run for it. And maybe a few have gotten off around anywhere through. But basically, as far as we know, the only ships that have gotten through are Chinese. And of those, it's almost zero. Now, there's a problem, and no one can exactly confirm whether or not ships are getting through because we don't have access to the satellites. There's nowhere to watch. Okay, is it this planet? I forget what it's called. Planet, whatever. The leading, well, I'll fill it in. We'll pop it up on the screen. The leading, Planet Labs, who is one of the leading satellite providers who we would be able to access to see what's happening, pushed all of their footage back 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Surely it's because what's in the imaging is really good, right? But they push it all back 2 weeks. So nobody has any fucking idea where we are really at as far as ships getting through the Strait of Hormuz, okay? Oil markets dumped really bad after yesterday when Trump came out and basically said, look, the war is almost done. We have basically finished with Iran. He then tacoed the taco. Trump always chickens out. The Trump always chickens out and said, we're done with Iran, but we don't really want to be yet. It's almost over, but we don't really want it to be over yet. And so the biggest question of this whole war, and I'll do an event recap after, is basically when are tankers and the importing and exporting of oil going to be able to successfully and cleanly and calmly get through the Strait of Hormuz again? When will that be the case? And nobody has an answer to this. And as far as we are aware, Nothing related to the United States of America has been able to get through. Well, that changed today because we got a headline, a breaking headline, probably the most significant headline that's come out of this war up until this point, from Walter Bloomberg, and it reads, breaking, U.S. Navy escorted oil tanker through Strait of Hormuz. Sources, Energy Secretary. Now, let's show where this happened on the chart. 10:14 a.m. Let's go on crude. And you can see exactly where this happened. Let's go on to 5 minutes. Let's go on the 3 minute even. Fuck it. Let's go 15. Hold on. Oh, I'm about to say my fucking clock is off. 10:14. Oh, it's on fucking military time. Here you go. Right here. You can see exactly where it happened. Right here. Headline comes out and this thing just dumps. Destroyed. Hard. Just dumps. Like, puts in a crazy red candle. We go from like low 80s, 81, 82 maybe, all the way down from 76. And the reason this headline is significant is because we are basically playing headline markets. And your goal, if you're trading what's going on right now, is to basically take what Trump's saying, take what Iran is saying, take what Hegseth is saying, and try to figure out if there's validity somewhere in between there. Nobody really knows. And so yesterday, Trump, tacos, market rips, reverse tacos. It kind of like we're just playing whipsaw in the headline, crypto ass market, Mr. Beast ass market right now. And so the reason this headline is significant is this basically is insinuating that the U.S. was able to get a ship through without getting fucking bombed and attacked and exploded. Now, is it viable for the U.S. to send through hundreds of ships every day with a escort? No, but that's not the point. The point is that they got through, they survived, and they lived to tell the tale. Well, oil dumps, candle, 10, 15%, like slams red on this headline. It's just a couple hours ago. And so this is the response. It's like, escorted how many? Are they saying they'll continue with the escorts? I'm really curious to see how Iran reacts to that. And this is a very weird headline because up until this point, I feel whenever there's been like a real move the markets headline around this war, it's usually been during a speech where there's follow-up questions or during a long Trump Truth Social post where credit is due. He generally answers a lot of questions surrounding what are you talking about? There was nothing. There was just this rinky-dink one-off headline. U.S. Secretary Chris Wright. U.S. Navy successfully escorted an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz to ensure oil remains flowing to global markets. Well, immediately after, and I'm talking immediately after, arguably the most significant headline of this U.S.-Iran war that whipsawed the oil markets down and probably was the biggest layup to tensions are slowing, deleted. Deleted, brother, deleted. The post was deleted. Now, it wasn't just any tweet either. It wasn't some headline got leaked, some news reporter got a bad quote. It wasn't just any headline, okay? The headline came with a video from Chris Wright. It came with a video, brother, a video, okay? And this is the video. Put my headphones around. This is the video that was posted in the tweet.
Has control over a key waterway. Iran has control over a key waterway that's keeping nearly a fifth of the world's oil supply at bay.
We are having restrictions of flow of energy through the Straits of Hormuz right now. We announced that we will step into the insurance market and insure tankers to go through. A large oil tanker went through about 36 hours ago. I think you will see more of those coming.
It's like, wait, what? What? When? What? What do you mean a large oil tanker went through 36 hours?
Step into the insurance market and insure tankers to go through. A large oil tanker went through about 36 hours ago. I think you will see more of those coming.
What are you talking about? A large oil tanker went through about 36 hours ago. And this was uploaded to his Twitter. What are you talking about? A large oil tanker went through 36 hours ago. When did you film this? When was this filmed? When was this filmed and who approved this post and why was this posted and why would you say that if it didn't happen? I mean, guys, you have to understand, like, this is the biggest, I mean, this is probably like one of the biggest event in the world is right now is the price of oil and what's going to happen on the back end of this Iran conflict. And if we can't get oil prices down, we have a disaster. I mean, there's part of the reason the U.S. is going so hard is we have a disaster on our hands. If we can't get the price of oil down, we have a severe problem. But I don't understand what this is. You can't, this isn't like a blunder. It's not a misclick. It's not a bad quote. It's not an out of context quote from an interview. This is like, I mean, what's going on? Chat, give me what do you think? Was this intentional manipulation or no? Yes or no? Intentional manipulation? I don't even know what to make of this because it isn't like they just misquoted this guy and we're like, yeah, okay. Weird interview. I see how we got here. This is like they had this announcement planned and they posted the video talking about 36 hours ago. It came. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than an insane video and unreal, at the very best, catastrophic blunder. At the worst, pure unfiltered manipulation. At the very best, we're talking a catastrophic blunder. Okay? Now, this in a black hole is fine. I guess. This in a black hole, really, really, really big fuck up. But let's call it incompetence. Now, it looks significantly worse when 5 minutes, so post is made, 5 minutes later, post is deleted after oil dumped 10-15%. 5 minutes later, Walter Bloomberg, new headline comes out, and it reads as this: U.S. intelligence assets have begun to see indications Iran is taking steps to deploy mines in the Strait of Hormuz shipping lane. CBS News reporter on X. Okay, so not only did we just lie or misreport that a U.S. escort successfully made it through the strait, but actually the situation is much worse than we initially thought and is escalating, and they are now deploying mines in the strait, which from everything I've have digested in the last 30 minutes since this announcement was made is a absolute disaster. Okay? And now this announcement comes out and look what the markets do. Whee! Rips. Absolutely rips immediately after. Look at this. Whips, bro. So we go like this. We go, escorts made it through. Oil fucking dumps. Tweet deleted. Oil rips. And then Iran is deploying mines in the strait. Oil really fucking rips. And so now we're sitting here and everyone is thinking to themselves, what the actual fuck is going on? I mean, what the fuck, man? Either of those things in a black hole, fine. But the two things back to back, you know, the mines headline is going to rip oil. So we drop the escort headline right before, liquidate some longs. Look, I don't know. I'm not here to put a tinfoil hat on. I'm not here to conspiracy full blown. But I am here to tell you that what is happening right now in the order books of oil is fucking insane. And so then you get this comes out. PP Poo Poo, my macro quant. PP Poo Poo and Calvin post this, Art of the Deal. And he has this announcement, this headline this is an old headline from January 26th, but he pulls it. And it reads, Navy's Avenger-class mine hunters have left the Middle East for good. Our decommissioned U.S. Navy Avenger-class mine countermeasure ships have left Bahrain on what may be their final voyage aboard a larger heavy-lift vessel. Avengers have been forward deployed to the Middle Eastern nation for years, where critical mine countermeasures duties have now been passed. I don't know. Like, what the fuck is this? This is just coincidence? Maybe. I don't know. But what the fuck is this? And so then there's all this discussion, right? There's all this discussion about Scott Bessent made that comment a week ago or a couple days ago and basically was saying, I'll get in the order books if I have to. And so PB Poo Poo makes a tweet and says the Treasury Department is absolutely selling crude deltas in the market. So Trini replies, I don't think this is a conspiracy. They literally said they'd be selling futures. And so we're kind of at this point right now where it is hard to make the argument. It has genuinely become difficult to make the argument against the U.S. is not manipulating oil futures right now. And so we just, right before I sparked stream, got one more headline to sort of close off this mines situation. Okay. And it's Trump on Truth Social. And it reads, if Iran has put out any mines in the Hormuz Strait, and we have no reports of them doing so, we want them removed immediately. If for any reason mines were placed and they are not removed forthwith, the military consequences to Iran will be at a level never seen forthwith. Did I fuck it up? Never seen before. If, on the other hand, they remove what may have been placed, it will be a giant step in the right direction. President Donald J. Trump. The significant word here to me is if. If they put them out, if they remove them. This was a change. This is a stray away from the normal Trump announcement, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's just do some chat. Lock in with me real quick. Let's do some word sentence physiognomy on this. Just sit with everyone's. Let's do this together, guys. Let's do some sentence physiognomy on what we just read compared to a normal Trump announcement. I'm going to read it again. You tell me if you think this is we have the upper hand and Trump is about to dog Iran, or does Trump feel a little weary about the spot we found ourselves in and we're running out of taco opportunities and oil is curling back and it's a little bit uncomfortable. It reads as such, forthwith. If Iran has put out any mines in the Hormuz Strait and we have no reports of them doing so, we want them removed immediately. First of all, no reports. It's like, aren't we the intelligence masters? Second sentence. If for any reason mines were placed and they are not removed forthwith, the military consequences to Iran will be at a level never seen before. If, on the other hand, they remove what may have been placed, it will be a giant step in the right direction. If they remove what might have been placed, it will be a giant step in the right direction. President Donald J. Trump. Might have been placed. The ones you the mines that you accidentally placed. Chat, you tell me, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Because there's an argument to be made here. Malcolm makes a good point, which is that I don't understand why Iran would lay mines because it would hurt them too. I think that's why Trump is messaging sort of like, I mean, bro, it's burn the boats. It's a suicide pact. Yes, it is. I mean, look, let's back up on history here. Is that Israel / the United States strikes Iran. We kill the supreme leader. We then kill the 40, 50, whatever predecessors to whom would fulfill that spot, we basically like pillage the entire successors. There you go, predecessors. We kill his entire family and anyone that could have taken the spot after, and declared war. Told them that we won't stop until they can never ever think about having a nuclear weapon again. Like if the thought crosses their mind about a nuclear weapon, we will not stop. And we forced them to shut down their only export, basically the only way they make money. And we're kind of like terrorized at this point. We're sort of just terrorizing them. And so it feels like I felt like from the beginning, right? One of the arguments for this is not going to just end is that this is like a religious war for Iran. And they're down to just, I mean, this is like their final war, bro. They're like down to just, where's this clip? To just go here. Where's that here? They're down to just go here.
For your military effort and the confrontation with the United States and Israel.
That means the system is quite functioning.
So the United States says it's drastically degraded the Iranian military, the capabilities as far as missiles is concerned, drones is concerned. How much longer can you do this?
That is one of the false narratives that the United States government is producing. Iranian military is quite strong, as you see, because they have the motivation, they have the arms that they need.
I'm just gonna count. I'm gonna narrative violation here. He doesn't sound very confident what he's saying.
Which are produced in Iran. As a matter of fact, we are not dependent on any other country for weapons and arms.
So your side is ready for a long war if the United States and Israel choose that. Do you consider this an existential threat to the Islamic Republic?
It is an existential threat to the Islamic Republic, and therefore we have to stay with full might, as we are doing now.
Is your side seeking, or will you seek, a ceasefire with the United States at this point in time, and with Israel?
I don't see any room for diplomacy anymore.
But I don't want a ceasefire. And you can't beat the United States straight up. Obviously, you cannot beat the U.S. straight up. And so what is your only other option? Is just burn everything to the ground.
Because Donald Trump has been deceiving others and not keeping with his promises. And we experienced it in 2 times of negotiations, that while we were engaged in negotiation, they struck us.
How does all of this end then? If you say right now there's no room for negotiation, President Trump says he wants complete surrender, what does that lead to?
There's no room unless the economic pressure would be built up to the extent that other countries would intervene to guarantee this termination of aggression of Americans and Israelis against Iran.
Finally, what is your message to President Trump as we sit here, as the war is going on?
That means that what is important for us is the end of this game. And we are ready to continue that game.
The end of this game, you mean how this war will end?
Yeah, the end of the game would be the time that Americans and Israelis would come to this understanding that this strategy is not working. And they have to stop their aggressions against Iranians.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't really feel like burn the boats is the craziest suggestion, to be quite honest with you. I mean, we don't really have that many options. What else do you? Yeah, I don't know. Like, what? They don't have that many options. They got right. It's like they're kind of in a spot here. I mean, what would I do if I were them? I don't fucking know. But what I do know is that our friend Calvin had is currently in the middle of a legendary crash out right now. And so this tweet was on the tanker then deleted post. And he reads, "I'm taking a break from markets for a while. Gave back enough gains here. Plus 50% is good enough to call it a year. Can't trade this environment? Well, to no surprise, he's not calling it a year, actually. And he is, so immediately after post is removed, fuck this criminal pedophile administration, I'm out of this clown show. Followed by, they'll nationalize the entire market before they let the numbers reflect reality. The only way to win a rigged game is to not play. Followed by, this is a really good account. I like this account a lot. This is Oil Training number 2. I'm trying to get this guy on stream. Honestly, aren't you all exhausted by the noise and the fake news? Every data source I've looked at shows over the last 3 days, at the most, 6 tankers have actually passed through the strait. So why don't we just test it? We all want the truth, don't we? Let's just watch and see how Iran actually reacts and face the reality head on. So he's like, fuck it, just send them through. Do you like that strategy? I mean, I don't hate that strategy, but I would like to know that we're going to make it through before we send them. Because if you send a tanker through and you don't know it and doesn't have a proper escort and it gets blown up, I mean, oil's never going to go down again. I don't know. This would be kind of catastrophic. You obviously can't do this. Followed by, losing money I can handle. Losing money because of blatantly false criminal manipulation by the Epstein regime. I'd rather just sit it out and do something that doesn't make me feel schizophrenic. Followed by, the physical war is going to get worse and worse. Since they won't allow a free market, there are going to be shortages. We are the Soviet Union now. Followed by, I told all of you idiots this was happening. I told you there were concealing casualties and that these would be laundered out in the weeks and months ahead. This criminal regime lies about literally everything. Followed by, all of you laughing idiots are going to be buying daily essentials in the black market. We are headed for Argentine and Soviet-style price controls. Trump is a communist dictator. Followed by, I can't trade this because I can't handle the gaslighting and deception. I've already made enough for the entire year, and I'm not going to piss it away while I'm in an angry and emotional state. Followed by, you all can talk shit all you want about my performance. I'm not going to risk my capital in a market where a criminal regime uses blatant manipulation and market intervention to work against my interests. I can walk out of the casino. Can you? Followed by, these are the things I would own now. Fuel, fertilizer, PVC pipes, paint, roofing material. I see the price of everything going up. But the things that are most closely connected with the hydrocarbon value chain are going to see the biggest increases. If you plan on building a house now, or you are a professional contractor or builder, you need to stock up now. You may not be able to restock some of these items literally within weeks or months. Followed by, you're going to get higher prices and or shortages for nearly every part of the value chain. This isn't going to happen at the same time the tax revenues and employment collapse and Social Security goes bankrupt. Chat, there's a lot. There is a lot. I don't even know. There's a lot of tweets from Mr. Calvin. I am not getting the feeling that he logged off and closed his longs. I'm not getting that feeling. But I must say, he deserves a little bit to be taken somewhat more seriously maybe than yesterday after what has happened today. Trump tweet. Oh, brother. By the way, everyone lock in on Nodis. Everyone lock in on Nodis. Zero Hedge, Walter Bloomberg, everything. Lock in. What do we got? 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 What? Trump, we have hit and completely destroyed 10 inactive mine-laying boats and or ships. Huh? Wait. So there are mines, and he knows about the mines. The market thinks bullshit, by the way. This implied no, bro. This means there's fucking mines in the water. This means there's mines in the water, bro. Bro, market says fuck you. Dude, this means there's fucking mines in the water. What are you talking about? Oh, this got cut off. Okay, look. If Iran has put out any mines in the Hormuz Strait, and we have no reports of them doing so, we want them removed immediately. If for any reason mines were placed and they are not removed forthwith, the military consequences to Iran will be at a level never seen before. If, on the other hand, they remove what may have been placed, it will be a giant step in the right direction. Additionally, we are using the same technology and missile capabilities, yes, you did, Malcolm, deployed against drug traffickers to permanently eliminate any boat or ship attempting to mine the Hormuz Strait. They will be dealt with quickly and violently. Beware. I mean, bro, this means there's mines in the water, though, right now. Nobody's going through. By the way, what the fuck is a water mine? I don't even... I mean, I guess I can imply what it is. But... market is saying... no on this. How did we close, by the way? I got distracted. How did we close? Bitcoin is pumping on this news. How did we close? SPY closed down like 0.2%. Do we have like a video for what a water mine looks like? Water mine. Wait. No.
These tiny monsters changed naval warfare forever. Sea mines, deadly orbs packed with explosives, were everywhere in World War II. Invented in their earliest form in the 1800s, but by World War II, they were smart, sneaky, and absolutely terrifying. Both the Allies and Axis dropped millions across the oceans, blocking ports, trapping fleets, and even defending coastlines. Some mines detonated on contact. Others waited silently, triggered by sound, magnetic fields, or water pressure. So how'd they survive this underwater minefield? Enter the minesweepers, small ships with big courage. They dragged cables to cut mines loose.
So annoying.
Why did German pilots strap a massive 46-foot metal ring beneath planes? You see, magnetic naval mines hidden inside the sea were a deadly threat to
So if you hit one of these, you're just blown up?
German ships. And in order to protect the German ships, Junkers Ju 52 planes were made to fly just 30 feet above the sea, creating a strong magnetic force between the massive ring and the hidden mines, causing the mines to explode right out of the water. Why did German pilots strap a massive...
Damn. So, yeah, this is gnarly because he's basically just saying they're in the water. And we know about it. And we've destroyed 10 inactive mine-laying boats or ships. Crazy. Yeah. Oh, here. I'm pleased to report within the last few hours, we have hit and completely destroyed 10 inactive mine-laying boats and or ships. With more to follow, President Donald J. Trump. And so this is where we currently are right now. And look, the situation is unique because the taco has already been done. We already did the war is almost over. We can end it when we want, but we don't want to end it. Announcements. And so now we're in this spot, I think, where it just feels like tensions are way worse than the market is saying. It feels like there is this deep level of discretion between, or like separation between the price of oil and the severity of the situation in the Middle East. And it's really hard to decipher what is real and what is fake. Because one, there's just like pure headline manipulation. Two, there's no way for us to get like intelligent. Like the satellites are delayed by 2 weeks. No one has any idea what's actually getting through the strait and what's not. And three is it is flip-flopping every day. All of it is flip-flopping every single day. And so I think this is like the best summary is everyone seems to think this war is over / ending except for Iran, which makes sense since they are still being bombed. You can buy all the taco, but if Iran doesn't, then the war can't end. The market is acting like the war is really, really winding down. And it really was today, but it got kind of bailed out on this fake headline, which is bizarre. Was very bizarre. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before explicitly. And so that is kind of where we are right now. Now, the take that I've been hearing the most from Calvin and from a lot of sharps on Twitter is that if this situation continues to get worse and we don't want to stop, which it seems like we do not want to stop, then you can only taco the price of oil for so long, right? I mean, it's curling. This is objectively, this chart is curling. This doesn't look as great here, but let's go like 45-minute V, and back above 90s, it starts to look all right. Fuck my life. And oil curling is a big problem for the United States. It fucks everything. It fucks all production. It fucks the cost of everything. And so that basically leads to speculation about price controls. Okay? Price controls. Curling, I mean going up. Curling back. Price controls. This is what I've seen getting thrown around the most is like, we are going to run back 1970s Nixon era and we are going to rip price controls because it is our last Band-Aid that we have. And so we got in our bag, me, Tulip King, DNAP, really Tulip King and DNAP. And we did some research on price controls. And let's do a little segment on it before Jonah comes on in 30 minutes. And so you're starting to see these headlines like White House on Iran. President and energy team closely watch markets. Additional options being drawn up. Like you sort of run out of, there's not that many options here. It's like, okay, Besson can cook everybody in the oil order books by shorting futures. But after that, after the taco, if we're really not done in the Middle East and oil keeps going up, we have a situation on our hands. And so the price controls option is being tossed around a lot. But the problem with price controls is we know it doesn't work. Everybody knows it doesn't work. Nixon knew it didn't work in the 70s, but they did it anyways because they didn't have a lot of fucking options. And so here's another headline. Taco is Trump always chickens out, says some crazy shit, and then walks it back. Trump always chickens out, says something crazy, walks it back. And so here's another headline for you on this. Is U.S. Energy Secretary Wright, who's now infamous Wright, says oil export ban not being considered to hold down prices. And so it's starting to get floated. And so we went back into archives and we found this. It's an acronym, bro. Trump always chickens out, taco. And this is Nixon, and I think 1971, August 15th, 1971, outlining a new economic policy where he announces price controls.
Achieving our goal of full employment. The second indispensable element of the new prosperity is to stop the rise in the cost of living.
Stop the rise in cost of living. Like, fuck it. We're putting a cap. Fuck it.
One of the cruelest legacies of the artificial prosperity produced by war is inflation. Inflation robs every American, every one of you. The 20 million who are retired and living on fixed incomes, they are particularly hard hit. Homemakers find it harder than ever to balance the family budget. And 80 million American wage earners have been on a treadmill. For example, in the 4 war years between 1965 and 1969, your wage increases were completely eaten up by price increases.
Notice how they're talking about inflation like it's the enemy. Which, it is sort of the enemy. But fuck it. We're going to beat inflation and we are going to just cap prices. It is us versus inflation. I'm on your side. You guys are struggling. I'm on your side. Gas is getting too expensive. Rent's too expensive. Groceries are too expensive. We're going to just cap it. Sound familiar?
Your paychecks were higher, but you were no better off. We have made progress against the rise in the cost of living. From the high point of 6% a year in 1969, the rise in consumer prices has been cut to 4% in the first half of 1971. But just as is the case in our fight against unemployment, we can and we must do better than that. The time has come for decisive action, action that will break the vicious circle of spiraling prices and costs. I am today ordering a freeze on all prices and wages throughout the United States for a period of
Hear this. I'm ordering a freeze on all prices and wages throughout the United States. Like, bro, we actually could get here again. We could get here. Freezing rent in New York. We could get here, bro. It is not that far off. We could get here.
90 days.
And everyone keeps talking about 1970s era parallels, stagflation. Like, we're low-key in a similar spot.
In addition, I call upon corporations to extend the wage price freeze to all dividends. I have today appointed a cost of living council within the government. I have directed this council to work with leaders of labor and business to set up the proper mechanism for achieving continued price and wage stability after the 90-day freeze is over. Let me emphasize two characteristics of this action.
I'll talk about that after.
It is temporary. To put the strong, vigorous American economy into a permanent straitjacket would lock in unfairness. It would stifle the expansion of our free enterprise system. And second, while the wage price freeze will be backed by government sanctions, if necessary, it will not be accompanied by the establishment of a huge price control bureaucracy. I am relying on the voluntary cooperation of all Americans, each one of you, workers, employers, consumers, to make this freeze work. Working together, we will break the back of inflation, and we will do it without the mandatory wage and price controls that crush economic and personal freedom.
Fuck the oil speculators. They're the ones making your prices go up. Meanwhile, we're like fighting for our life in the order books. The people speculate. People are betting against oil going over $100. You can't afford gas. Meanwhile, we're getting like PvP'd by Scott Besson in the fucking order books. And so this really happened, bro. 71. This really happened. 1971. This really happened. And so, I'll read this real quick, which is that a paper came out and basically said that Nixon knew this was a bad idea. Like, he knew this wasn't going to go well, but he had to do it anyways. In late 71, Nixon reiterated his adamant opposition to wage and price controls, calling them a scheme to socialize America. Yet, less than a month later, in a stunning reversal, he imposed the first and only peacetime wage and price controls in U.S. history. Think about it. He knew it was a terrible idea. He knew it wasn't going to go well. But less than a month after saying this publicly, we do it anyways. The Nixon tapes, personal tape recordings made during the presidency of Richard Nixon, provide a unique body of evidence to investigate the motivations for Nixon's stunning reversal. We uncover and report in this paper evidence that Nixon manipulated his new economic policy to help secure his re-election victory in 72. He became convinced that wage and price controls were necessary to grab the headlines away from the defeatist abdominate of the Bretton Woods Agreement and closing of the U.S. gold window. Nixon understood the impact of his wage and price controls, but chose to trade off longer-term economic cost to the economy for his own short-term political gain. Parallels? Any Parallels. Any at all. Parallels. Sacrificing long-term economic stability for short-term political gain. Does that sound familiar at all? It's like, well, maybe there were some midterms coming up that weren't going so well. And the Republicans' likelihood of winning them is probably inversely correlated with the price of oil. Would that, I don't know. I'm just stating the numbers. Nixon, February 71. Here's my concern about the freeze. So this was in February, and this speech was in August. Half a year later. Half a year before. Here's my concern about the freeze. There is strong support for a wage board and wage price controls, and particularly from sources like Arthur Burns, who fucked the Fed. The difficulty with wage price controls and a wage board, as you well know, is that the goddamned things will not work. They didn't even work at the end of World War II. They will never work in peacetime. I know the reasons you do it, wage and price controls. For cosmetic reasons, good God. But this is too early for cosmetic reasons. Then in July 24, listen to this. The goddamn things will not work. They didn't even work at the end of World War II. They will never work in peacetime. I know the reasons you do it, for cosmetic reasons, good God. But this is too early for cosmetic reasons, he says. Then in July 24th, my brother's birthday, happy birthday, my brother, he refers to a program proposed by Connolly and states that he wants to emphasize, quote, making America competitive again. Connolly, July 27th. There is a risk in imposing wage and price controls, no question about it, but there's also risk if you don't. Complete tone shift. Connolly again, August 12th. To the average person in this country, this wage and price freeze to him means you mean business. You're going to stop this inflation. You're going to try to get control of this economy. If you take all these actions, you're not going to have anybody left out to be critical of you. A few minutes later, Nixon agrees to accelerate the NEP program. While Nixon was initially reluctant to accept the wage and price freeze, he soon turned into an enthusiastic supporter. Quote, as a matter of fact, I'd like to freeze right on through the election. He worried that the goal of a 2 to 3% inflation rate by the end of 1972 would not be achieved, but the design for the program was such that Nixon could plausibly deny any responsibility for any failure. This paper clearly shows it was political motives of re-election that drove Nixon's decision to implement policy that was known to be extremely costly to the economy. Crazy, bro. Like, you understand how we got here, right? How Nixon got there. It makes perfect sense. Okay, I have a video. One more video. It's 3 minutes, and we should watch it. It's like it's from a college course, but it basically explains why price controls are bad. Let's watch it really quick because, dude, we could fucking end up here. And before we watch it, let's just show this real quick. Nope. Yep. 5 minutes. Kind of candling, bros. All right, let's watch this real quick. 5 minutes. This is not interesting as fuck. What's happening right now? Watch this. This is why I don't understand why it's bad.
I am today ordering a freeze
Let's show our video
on all prices and wages throughout the United States.
In August of 1971, in an attempt to control inflation, President Richard Nixon simply declared that price increases were now illegal. Soon after Nixon's declaration, the situation in many markets started to look like this. The market equilibrium price was above the current price, but it was illegal to raise prices. Prices were hitting the ceiling, the maximum price allowed by law. With a price ceiling...
Can you imagine that? You're a oil producer, and it's the most in-demand commodity in the world, and people are willing to pay insane amounts for it. And it's illegal. You illegally can't do it. It's illegal.
Buyers are unable to signal their increased demand by bidding prices up, and suppliers in turn have no incentive to increase the quantity supplied because they can't raise the price. The result is a shortage. The quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied.
Shortage.
For example, in the 1970s, price ceilings on gasoline meant that it was common to have no gas at the gas station. However, the story doesn't end there. more people want to buy gasoline than there was gasoline available. So who gets the gasoline? Rather than compete for gasoline by bidding up the price, buyers now competed by waiting in longer and longer lines, in effect, bidding up their time. In the 70s, people would wait for hours at the gas station to fill up. So while the
I've heard my dad tell me about this before, that this was the thing. Back in the day, they had these unreal, it was like, someone said it in the chat as well. Ask your parents about this if they were live in the 70s chat. Text your parents and ask them if they were around for this.
monetary price of gasoline doesn't rise, the price paid in people's time did increase. Moreover, when buyers pay for gasoline with money, the seller gets the money. When buyers pay for gasoline in time, the seller doesn't get the time just gets wasted. Do you recall from the previous videos how the price system coordinates the actions of thousands of people all over the world in order to deliver flowers? Well, with price controls in place, the economy became discoordinated. Shortages of steel meant that construction workers had to be sent home and new building construction delayed. Factories and offices had to close when shortages meant they couldn't operate, and when they closed, the firms relying on them had to close too. In perhaps the most ironic case, a shortage of steel drilling equipment made it difficult to drill for oil, even as the United States was undergoing the worst energy crisis in its history. And other odd things started to happen. In a market economy, when it gets cold on the East Coast and the demand for heating oil increases, entrepreneurs ship oil from where it has low value, here in sunny California, and ship it to where it has high value, in cold New Hampshire. Buy low, sell high. With price controls in place, high-value consumers of heating oil couldn't bid up the price, and so there was no incentive for entrepreneurs to bring oil to where it was in greatest demand. As a result, in the harsh winter of 1972 to 1973, people were freezing on the East Coast, even as people elsewhere in the United States had enough oil to heat their swimming pools. And then the chickens started to drown. A price ceiling had been imposed on the price of chickens, but not on the price of feed. Farmers realized that at the controlled price, they would actually lose money if they fed their chicks to fatten them up and bring them to market. So the farmers drowned millions of baby chicks.
Thanks, price controls.
The list
You want baby chicks to die? Chat, do you want baby chicks to die?
of strange unintended consequences like these go on and on. In the next few videos, we'll dive deeper into price ceilings.
So it basically fucks the entire supply chain. It fucks everything because you basically have no incentive to expand and produce because you're capped on how much you can make. This is why communism doesn't work, right? It's like you have no incentive to expand operations, especially to invest higher amounts to expand operations, to explore new mines, to explore new wells, new ways of getting oil. Like you have no incentive to expand. You get these like weird second order effects too, where it fucks the whole supply system. You also get these crazy shortages too, right? Because like, okay, the US has a cap on oil at like $90 a barrel. But in Asia or wherever, in China, Japan, they're paying $150 a barrel. And so why are you supplying to the US? Like you've no incentive at all. You're trying to go around it. You're breaking laws. We talked about this in our morning call. It creates this whole like black market where people are doing illegal shit, trying to get around the law, trying to like export it everywhere else, smuggling oil, trapping oil. Like you create this just like disaster supply chain issue that cannot work. Like, there's no incentive to make anything more efficient, start new businesses, disrupt industries, do anything, because you're literally capped on how successful you can be and how much money you can make. And we know capitalism, what is the core driver of everything, is outsized returns with money. And so if this does happen, chat, we have a real problem. We have a real problem. Also, if you're long oil, like GG, if you're long oil at $120 and they're like, okay, cool, the cap is $90 a barrel, you don't get a refund. You don't get a refund. You do not get a refund. Yeah, here's the irony. You cap oil to fight inflation, and then you get more inflation and everything else because you created a shortage. The cure is worse than the disease. Exactly that. By trying to stop inflation, you make hyperinflation on everything else because you just squeezed the thing that makes it run. And so We're in a spot. I mean, this is gonna be like a legendary spot for times to come. I fear. This really is. Okay, so what we're gonna do today, chat. That was our little. Actually, we have a couple. Oh, here, real quick. Calvin, of course. The Nixon era prize actually made it into my hands. I purchased it from the heir of a recipient at a junk sale. It was presented to people who worked on the pricing commissions. In true capitalist form, I auctioned this bit of communist history to the highest bidder. It's like a medal of honor for working on price controls in the Nixon era. Calvin owns it. The United States tried market interventions before under Nixon. There was actually a U.S. government committee that sat around and decided what everything should cost. Crazy. That really existed. And here, Richard Nixon, 1973, speaking on the impacts of the Arab oil embargo. This does not mean we're going to run out of gasoline or that air travel will stop. Well, later that year and in the coming years. Gosh. Wait, I kind of want one of those. Pricing committee. Let me check on eBay real quick. Should we buy one? And like, that would be the sickest background. Dude. Price control. 1972. No. Price control. No, nothing. Damn. Trying to find it on eBay. They don't have it. They have nothing even remotely related. That would be such a sick stream background. Anyways, things in the Soviet Union were cheap, but the store shelves were empty. I know we're giving Calvin a lot of screen time. But the one thing I didn't show yet. The one thing I didn't show yet is this, is that it's already starting to happen in other countries. That's right. I knew I was missing something. Here. Look. Confirmed price caps. South Korea implemented fuel caps starting this week, March 2026. South Korea's done it. First time in 30 years. Thailand, active. Diesel. 15 days through March. Export ban. Suspended all crude petroleum exports March 1st. Supply. Claims 61 days of fuel reserves. The Philippines, active. Price caps plus fuel rationing until March 9th may extend. The Department of Energy is blocking unscheduled price adjustments. And Hungary, implemented. Protected prices from midnight March 9th. Starting to happen. Like, it's actually starting to happen right now. And so it is particularly relevant. And we'll see. We're going to follow it really closely. I mean, dude, what's happening right now is cinema. Good or bad, unclear, but it is absolutely cinema. I mean, it's wild what's happening. And so there's one more thing I wanted to watch, which is a Calvin video. I haven't actually watched this yet, so it might be a really bad video. It might click off. But we have 10 minutes until Jonah comes, and I'm excited for Jonah. So let's see. This is exactly how Trump will announce ending Iran war very soon. Let that sink in. Should I watch this?
If you're looking for an exit, what's your exit strategy if you're Trump? Well, one of the things that's really interesting about Trump is he just makes stuff up. So what he can do is he can say, I've made a deal. It's the best deal ever. There's never been a better deal. I've made the most incredible deal the world has ever seen. It's really special. You're going to love it. We're going to win. We're going to win like you've never won before. And I'm getting oil concessions from Iran. And we're going to send everybody in except for ExxonMobil because they made me very angry when they pushed back on the Venezuela thing. And so I'm going to punish them for all eternity because I hate them. And then he's going to say, and we're done. And the war's over. And the United States will just simply stop attacking Iran. It doesn't matter if the Islamic Republic is intact or not. For his supporters, he got a win. And they're going to go, he's a genius. He got all this oil for us. And then not a single drop of oil need ever leave Iran for the United States. Not a single U.S. oil company need ever set foot in Iran. The Iranian government can even come out and go, no such deal was made. And it won't matter. That's the world we live in. It just won't matter.
I think the biggest eye-opening moment for me through all of this, or just realization, is that we are basically just Finn Bags with 100 gifted. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Finn. Thank you, Finn. Thank you, my brother. Claim the fucking fees. Claim the fucking fees. Claim the fucking fees, Finn Bags. Thank you, my brother. The biggest realization that I've had through all of this, shout out Finn, man. Shout out Finn with 100 gifted. That's a movie. Shout out Finn, man. The biggest realization I've had through all of this is basically this. World War X. Iran is glued to X. It responded just 20 minutes after the now deleted Chris Wright post. Global war means trolling your enemy on X now, ideally with memes. We are fighting a media war. We're fighting a Twitter headline war. And nobody's ever lived through a Twitter headline war before. This is a new... Russia-Ukraine happened, but I don't know. I wasn't trading markets other than crypto at the time. We are trading a headline meme war. And there's no way to verify anything. Satellites are delayed by 2 weeks. The government, heads of government departments are tweeting fake announcements. Besson is trading oil futures during all of this. And at any moment, Trump can just say whatever he wants either direction and the market will whipsaw. And so I think if you are a rational trader, if you're an oil guy in the shipping industry and you are trying to do numbers and calculate exact financials on what is happening, you are just going to drive yourself crazy. Because the reality is, if you ever needed a more clear justification that we are trading a crypto market, everything is crypto. All that matters is narrative, attention, and what people think. This is it. I mean, this is it. Objectively, this is it. I've been saying this for months, for years now, that everything is just megachurch, before we even knew what the megachurch article was. But, I mean, what more do you want than this? Seriously, what more do you want than what's happening, than what happened today? What happened today, I feel, was the bow on top. It's tied the whole thing together. We are just trading narratives. And our ships getting through, I don't know. Are there really mines? Who knows? Is Iran still being bombed? I don't know. Are they still bombing the GCC? I don't know. Are water plants blowing up? I don't really know. Do they have missiles left? Do we have interceptors? Who knows? All the numbers are fake. Is the video real? I don't know. It's probably AI. Iran, U.S. says Iran has no more missiles and they're not launching anymore. Iran says we have 10 more years. Who's right? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. It's all just like a state of your imagination. What does Twitter think? What does Trini think? Friesman with the gifted. Scarlet Fox with the gifted. Rectal Glizzy. Hey, 5+5K on an oil long. Give my boy some W's for that. 5K on an oil long. That's awesome. Congrats, bro. Congrats. Nice trade. Is any of it real? I don't know. Is pump funds revenue real? I don't fucking know. Who knows? Nobody knows. The head of it, Chris Wright can just announce that the U.S. escorted a ship and with a video, and then say, "Oh, never mind. I don't know. Sorry, how we messed that up. I'm not sure." Oh yeah, and by the way, they have mines. By the way, we don't know if they've deployed mines, but we actually, by the way, just destroyed 10 of them. What? It's just complete. We live in a reality TV show. We live in a Twitter market. And this should excite you because I'm really bad at financials. I'm not good at fundamentals. I'm bad at earnings reports. I'm bad at math. I really struggled with stats in 11th grade. I got a D, barely got a C. But I can really do the Twitter game. And that is what geopolitics have become, is the Twitter game. Geopolitics is a war. Geopolitics in 2026 is an aura battle on Twitter between countries. Which country's president can secure more aura by tweeting back and forth at each other to make their people feel like they're winning? That's where we're at. And it's kind of electric, but I think we just have to, like, especially if you're trying to trade this shit, you have to just look at this in the eyes and be like, this is what's happening right now. Is any of it real? I don't know. Do they have missiles? I don't know. Is there mines? I don't fucking know. Is the tweet real? Who knows? Is what Trump said real? I don't know. Did a ship get through? I don't know. Are ships getting through? Who knows? Are we losing oil? I don't really know. I'll look at this after. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Who knows? Does anybody know? No, probably not. Probably fucking not. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. In 2 minutes, we have Jonah coming on, who is probably one of the only people I think deeply understands oil supply chain implications and what is happening in Hormuz that isn't a complete and utter doomer. Now, at $70 on the way up, he said this is a fade. Don't buy oil. And it went to $120 a barrel, and he got clowned really bad for it. And he's also had some hilariously bad takes. But I like Jonah. I like him. I think he's a smart guy. I think he fucking has a pretty well-versed understanding of what's happening right now. And I think he can come here and offer some insight that isn't like brutally bearish and doomer. And so, look, my strategy with understanding war propaganda has been this. Watch a super pro-American coverage and then a super anti-American coverage on the same topic and then land in the middle somewhere. And so take two smart guys on oil, one of them being the biggest doomer of all time, Calvin, and then one of them being the biggest optimist of all time, Jonah, and then somewhere in the middle is probably where we actually are. Sound right? Sounds right to me. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring Jonah on right now. Honestly, it's cinema. It's honestly, he's a cinema guest right now. And I'll bring him on until we get bored, and we'll kick him off. And I think it's going to be a good interview. I'm excited to talk to him. And let's go. I'm going to get off real quick. Oh, a song I haven't heard in so long. Just came on my YouTube recommended. I'll be back in 30 seconds when we come back, Jonah. And then once Jonah's off, I'm probably going to talk about some stuff that isn't just oil, but maybe not. Wow, I heard the song so long. Oh my God, this should be our intro tomorrow. BRB.
When the people don't have land, they settle for brands. They want Jesus Polo Sport and Obama again. My foresight is incredible. She pulled a foreskin bag like it's edible. Democracy is just a simulation. The government, I just served over $1 billion. I'm loving it. She got light skin nipples, yeah, that's my favorite. Sean White looking like he working for the ages. Wish a white dude would tell me about black lives. Wasn't my choice when my parents got me baptized. Black oppression is a business. I see they want to test me like the litmus. Well, I know we'll be fixing the EQ. I'm just waiting on the day I finally get me too. Cause a nigga did a lot of shit. They say I don't belong in politics.
Came in this bitch just to rip heads off. Check on your head, now you getting checked off. Jump in the red Porsche, sped off. Put a poodle to your noodle, now you dripping red sauce. I don't listen to your rap, we got too many lies. If you come to my hood, you wouldn't survive. They don't fuck with me cause they can't fuck with me. I get it. Would say your girl pussy wet, but that be dry snitching this time.
Last year I was dead broke. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. If you're watching on Twitter or YouTube and you would like to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. We got Jonah. That is Oil Jonah on the stream. Let's make a tweet real quick. What song? I'm gatekeeping this one for now. Don't worry about that. I'll tell you tomorrow. I'll play it again. I'll play this in outro. I'll tell you. If you really want to know, stay till the end of the stream. Stay to the end of the stream. We'll do an outro. All right. Twitch.tv/threadguy. if you want to chat, and let's get it. Mr. Jonah, this is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be a good one. One second. And we are live. Mr. Jonah, what's up, man?
Mr. Threadguy, nice
Good
to see you
again, dude. Yeah, it's been a while. How are you?
Your background. I'm great. Thank you for having me on the show. And how was your move to the East Coast?
The move has been awesome, man, and I appreciate you coming on. I'll tell you my rationale for this is why I felt like we had to do it right now. I'm relatively new to monitoring geopolitical situations, and I've realized it's very difficult. And one of the strategies I have found is find a topic and listen to coverage from a super pro-American and a super anti-American outlet, and then land somewhere in the middle. And so as it relates to oil, we had Calvin on yesterday, who was probably like the most doomer, the world is ending, price controls, US to the Soviet Union, you will be lined outside to fill up your tank for weeks at a time, you could get. And then there's you on the other side, who, you now have the infamous oil's a fade tweet, but I would say you're rather optimistic on where we are right now. And so I wanted to bring you on, talk about everything that's happening. So I appreciate you coming on right now. And I guess a good place to start is, how are you positioned right now on oil and everything that's happening with the situation in the Middle East and Iran?
Yeah. So when I said this is a fade, I didn't say go short prompt oil futures naked, right? Because put it this way, like George Soros says that trade expression is the ultimate way to win. You can be dead right and lose money. You can be dead wrong and make money. And it's all about how you express the trade. So I thought this was a fade. Oil went way higher than I thought it would. However, it's right back down. The way that I expressed this was by buying equities and by buying hyperliquid into the dip, because basically I thought, all right, I've got my cycle bags. I've got the things that I want to own for a long time. This is a ridiculous sell-off that's just going to mean revert. Let me use this as a chance to enter them, basically add risk at better levels. Now, what I would have done if I were in my old oil trading seat at Vitol, I probably still wouldn't have shorted oil futures, because it's like, okay, it's traded up to $80, $85. You think it's going, put it this way, fundamentally, the oil market is so oversupplied that you're kind of staring down a COVID-like glut were it not for this geopolitical risk. So I think fair value for crude oil is around $50. Now, let's say that I shorted at 80, trying to make 20% on my dollar. Doing so in the midst of a geopolitical crisis, you're exposed to literally unbounded downside. So no, I would not express the trade by taking that risk. I express the trade by buying other stuff that I like when it's selling off for what I consider to be ridiculous, stupid, transient reasons.
Well, congratulations on the hyperliquid one. It's nasty. That's a nice snipe. Why specifically, if you could pinpoint to one thing, allowed oil to rip as aggressively as it did to the upside?
Okay, well, I mean, the Strait of Hormuz, so the world consumes about 105 million barrels a day of oil. Barrels 42 gallons. It's like a little more than waist high.
Yep.
Basically, you can visualize it. This is commodities trading we're talking about. It's real. So 30% of that ish, give or take, goes through the Strait of Hormuz. So, even if there's a 2 million barrel a day supply glut with the Strait of Hormuz functioning as it's supposed to, there's, a 30 million barrel a day deficit if it's not. All those big oil, Saudi Arabia has that east-west pipeline so they can pump oil west to the Red Sea, right? But that only does so much work. There's still tens of millions of barrels trapped in what the Saudis call the Arabian Gulf, the Iranians call it the Persian Gulf, oil from Iraq, Saudi, a bunch of other Gulf countries, just critical supply. And, basically if that doesn't get through, we're talking about $500 oil, global recession, entire economy grinds to a halt. Just humanity cannot function without that much oil. So that's why when the threat was there, basically my view this whole time has been, if the strait's closed for a week, whatever. If the strait's closed for a month, like, it's an economic apocalypse. And so, just to conclude the thought, the reason why I'm not worried about this is that the people who started this war can do two things. They can ensure the security of the straits militarily. They've got, aircraft carriers and millions of tons of American might just floating around. And the second is, even if it's financially closed, which is what's really going on, insurance companies will not insure boats going through that strait right now.
Yes.
I tweeted about this. So, okay, oil is whatever it's trading at, $90.85 right now. Tack on another 50, $100 of insurance in price per barrel. No refiner is going to pay that. No shipper is going to pay that. So all the oil's financially trapped. The United States has the military might to keep the straits open and secure. The United States also has plenty of billions of dollars sitting in the treasury to insure those cargoes. And since, my thinking on this was that since Trump has those two options on the table, like, why would he sit idly by while Rome burns and the economy crashes and not exercise those options,
I think the thesis makes a lot of sense. My question for you on this topic, you're obviously more knowledgeable on it than I am, is why isn't the U.S. actively supporting and ensuring these tankers going through? Like, why is nothing going through?
Now stuff's going through, right? So they may well be behind the scenes. I'm not in it.
Based off of what?
Know, but like, I can send you, Colin Rugg just tweeted that maritime traffic is going through again. You can see it on basically an AIS is like a satellite transponder that every ship has. The traffic has started to move through. So I don't know exactly
is that true?
what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, you can read about it in the major newspapers too. Today, traffic has resumed.
And so is it just these Chinese/Iranian ships that are going through a U.S. ship? Because, okay, so then what makes what happened today so significant? Because the headline...
what happened yesterday was what happened, right? Like the G7 economies said, okay, we've got 400 million barrels of cumulative SPR, Strategic Petroleum Reserve. We could just release it to dampen oil prices if there were any temporary shock. That calmed the market's nerves. Then Donald Trump said that the straits are open. He said there's some sort of guarantee. I didn't read exactly into what he was saying, but to me, I think what's going on behind the scenes, like my oil trader Funny Bone says that the U.S. is now indeed insuring cargoes going through. That's why they're transiting.
So why was this headline so significant today? Where was it Chris Wright or Craig Wright makes this announcement? It says a ship has made it through with the U.S. escort. He then deletes the tweet immediately after. So oil, he makes the announcement, ship made it through with the U.S. escort. Oil dumps like 10% in 5-minute candle. He then deletes the tweet, kind of like candles back green. And then immediately after, there's the announcement of Iran is deploying mines into the strait. And then oil kind of is curling like it's doing right now. If your ships are going through, why is that headline? Why was that so significant, that tweet and delete?
I think everybody's the market's volatile, right? Oil has never moved this much in a day. Like I guess I could share a chart with you if you're interested.
Yeah, please share the chart.
How do I do that? Hold on just a second.
Cool.
I know we're on a live stream.
No, you're good. I'm not showing your screen. I can go full cam, so I don't show your screen yet until you tell me.
Okay. Should I share an image or should I just share a tab on my browser?
Share a tab on your browser. I have my full cam on. No one can see anything. Tell me when. I'll flip
Here,
back.
Share your screen. Share.
Cool. And boom, we're in. Okay, go. Brent crude intraday range. The daily shot.
Okay. You ever seen this before?
No,
you can share it with the audience.
Yeah, cool, we're showing it.
This is the dollar per barrel intraday range since the 80s. It moved $36 intraday yesterday. Okay. So that is the biggest single day intraday range in the history of crude oil as a commodity. This is wild. So when a commodity that's supposed to be pretty stable does one of these, generally what's going to happen is liquidity gets thin and tweets that shouldn't move markets because nobody is positioned right now. Everybody's been rinsed out of their position over the course of that move.
Wow, this is insane.
So if it's like, wow, why is this random guy who no one cares about tweeting and why is it moving the price of oil? This is why. This is just, we're in a volatile time. The market's pretty fragile and things are going insane. Now, the other point that I would make about mining in the Strait, the Iranians can't mine the Strait. That's fake news. Even Trump just tweeted, like, if they mine the Strait, we're going to hit them harder than they've ever been hit or than anybody's ever been hit. The Strait's not that wide. I forget how many miles wide.
It's like 30 something, right? 35?
Yeah. The United States can police that. They've got 9 of those like Reaper radar planes flying around. You try to you try to row a raft made out of driftwood anywhere near that thing, and you're getting blown out of the water right now. So basically, I don't believe the fake news. Yes, I believe that the United States military can guarantee security of transit through the Straits of Hormuz. Yes, I believe that the United States is insuring cargoes. Otherwise, they wouldn't be transiting the strait right now. No, this is not going to cause an economic crisis. And the thing about geopolitics is, like, when I tweeted that this is a fade, I got a lot of online hate from people who are like, "There's a war going on. How could you be so stupid as to suggest that you fade a war?" It's like I've seen literally dozens of these over the course of my career. They're usually a fade. There literally was a 12-day war in Iran that was a fade. This one's a fade too. The only time it's not a fade is when Iran has the upper hand. They can control things, but they're literally pinned to the mat, unable to move, bleeding out right now, you know?
So how do you think this ends? When is this going to end? And also, my question is, like, Trump, he sort of did a taco, then like a reverse taco, where he says, we basically have, the war's basically over. And then he followed it up and said, we don't really want to end it yet, though. And so taco, that's sort of like a reverse taco, right? Like a tacoception. Where are we in actually ending this thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. There's like you talked about liberal versus conservative, or pro-America versus anti-America freakouts over this, and I grew up in Berkeley, California. I went to Columbia University. I have no shortage of very intelligent, very anti-America, very liberal friends, and since I'm the oil guy, they have me on their version of this stream, right? They call me into their. I get the text on the group chat like,
yeah.
"Yo, Jonah, what's going on here?" And even the cover of The Economist says, like, a war without a strategy. I think there's a really well-considered strategy here, which none of these people seem to understand. So I'll start with the anti-Iran intervention argument, which I've heard, and then I'll rebut it with it, and then get to the conclusion, which is where this is going. So what I hear from my friends and what The Economist authors are probably saying is like, "Hey, Jonah, but if we just left the Ayatollahs alone, then they would just, be peaceful and love America, and they would just sit around and do Ayatollah things and jail their women peacefully, and they wouldn't want to build nuclear weapons, and everything would be better." And basically my point to them is like, okay, so I've been following Iran. I've been an oil trader for almost 20 years. I've been following this really closely for a long time. Unlike North Korea, which the doctrine in North Korea, which is a nuclear rogue state, is something called Juche, which is like radical self-reliance. It's basically like Burning Man up in the snow.
Okay.
All right, they just want to be alone. Fine. In Iran, the government adheres to a radical theology called 12-er Shia Islam.
Okay.
So basically, to bring the 12th Imam, their version of the Messiah, you basically have to have a Muslim takeover of the world. That is not a radical isolationist ideology. That is like a very expansionist ideology, kind of world domination style. And much like you don't want Adolf Hitler having nuclear weapons because he's an expansionist world domination guy, or Dr. Evil having them, you certainly don't want the Ayatollahs having them because of this ideology. That's literally what they believe and what they're preaching and what they're aiming their country towards. So no, I do not think that it is a viable strategy to just leave them alone and hope that after they get a nuclear weapon, which they will, because when the JCPOA was in place, the nuclear agreement that Obama signed, the IAEA, an international left-leaning atomic inspection body, literally said they were violating it because they want nuclear weapons to take over the world. So like, this is not me like going out on a limb here. They were violating their agreement. You cannot, basically, if you just leave them alone, they're going to end up with nuclear weapons, and they're not just going to sit on them. They're going to use them. They're going to start with Israel, and then they're going to move to their other enemies down their list. So I think the United States and Israel and various Gulf allies who are quietly helping out here have a viable point and a viable strategy in ankling this regime and taking away their nuclear weapons, which will cause some market disruption now. But literally not one ship has been taken out in the Strait of Hormuz. There is no problem there. So like, this short-term economic volatility, I think, is a viable trade-off towards the long-term goal of a non-nuclear Iran. And also, geostrategically, by taking out Venezuela and Iran's sort of ability to self-govern, China loses two held sources of oil supply, so that when they want to go invade Taiwan, they can't, then militarize these two places. And equally, they don't get, 50% discounted oil for free forever.
Is it enough to be significant to China? Was it Venezuela plus Iran is like 15% of China's oil supply? Something like this?
So again, world consumes 105 million barrels a day. China imports about 11 million barrels a day. They consume about 15, but 4 is produced domestically. So of that 11 that they import, I would say about 1 to 1.2-ish was coming from Venezuela, and let's call it 1.6 to 2 was coming from Iran. So let's just say cumulatively, maybe we round up to 3 million. So let's say like 25% of their imports were coming from Venezuela and Iran at like crazy discounted prices because Vens and Iran couldn't sell to anybody else other than China. So basically where you're at with that is now if Venezuela, the way this war winds down is that when Iran and Venezuela, Iran will be like Venezuela. They will export oil onto the global market at global market prices, not exclusively to China at discounted prices. There will be regime change in Iran. Either it'll be like another Ayatollah who's friendly to the United States because he doesn't want to get bombed out of his bunker, or it will be a totally different regime entirely. Either way, Iran will be like Venezuela, like a quasi-client state of America rather than, or at least a compliant state rather than the current like rogue anti-American state. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it could take a couple weeks, I think.
It does make sense. Do you think the plans, what we are trying to implement here, is going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't doubt that it'll work. I mean, there'll be hiccups, but like there are only the difference between, I grew up, I'm a boomer, right? I'm 40 years old. In 2003, when George W. Bush invaded Iraq, I was like right there with the other hippies from my community marching through the streets of San Francisco with peace signs painted on my cheeks with lipstick and the no blood for oil sign, literally. Yeah. But like, now, I would still march that march, honestly. But there's a big difference between what America did in Iraq versus what they're doing in Iran, right? Saddam Hussein, who cares? This were legitimately insane freaks who should not have nuclear weapons, and they were about to have them, unlike Saddam. So also regime change. Are we going to go in there for 20 years and lose thousands of American lives and try to do like nation building and try to introduce democracy into the Middle East? No, those lessons have been learned. So this time we're just going to bomb their missile production and nuclear production and government facilities into the Iron Age. And then in terms of like what comes next, well, they've lost Ayatollah number 1, Ayatollah number 2, and the guy that they just appointed is like either a vegetable or dead. They literally brought out did you see they marched out a cardboard?
No, I didn't see that. No.
They marched out a cardboard cutout of him, like a South Park
style.
I
did see this. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
We're living in a weird timeline. That's not AI. That's real. So the current Ayatollah of Iran is like, I think he's, reports have been released that he's like so injured in one of these attacks that he's unconscious, and he's the Ayatollah. He's Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of Khamenei. It's like, they'll just keep going through these guys until eventually one of them is going to show up and be like, all right, I want to live. Oil goes to the open market. We're not going to build nuclear weapons. Jeez. I think you can do most of that from the air. I think this is going to take another week or two, and then it's over.
And then oil to 50?
I don't know about oil to 50. That's what it should be worth if it weren't for this conflict. But the lingering geopolitical risk probably keeps it at 70 or something for a while.
Okay.
Absent this conflict, it's worth $50 a barrel. There's too much oil. There's way too much oil, and demand is growing way too slowly.
What about the damage that's already been done to the supply chain and the existing oil infrastructure?
No damage has been done to the supply chain.
What about existing oil refineries? All these things have got things. Iran's blown up with the GCC. We've blown up theirs. This biggest refinery in the UAE got blown up this morning or last night, right?
There was a fire at Fujairah. That will probably take a month or two to repair, I would guess. Like when I worked at Vitol, we literally owned that thing. Like that was part of our infrastructure. Fujairah is a big Vitol place. Like I know that one. That fire. Like you would have gotten a different headline if it had been blown up. I don't know about refineries in Iran. I've read something about refineries being blown up. Again, refineries are not production. Refineries are consumption. So you could blow up every single refinery in Iran and that would be just fine. The oil would go somewhere else. It's when you start blowing up oil fields that you have a problem. No oil fields have been blown up. So it's not like if you told me that South Pars field in Iran had been taken out, I'd be like, oh shit, okay, whatever. I forget exactly what it is, but like 600,000 to 800,000 barrels a day is gone for a year. Still, like there's way too much oil in the world absent this crisis. So, you know, as soon as this is over, it's really over and you go back to the status quo.
Is there any risk of operation not going smooth? Like, what is our biggest concern? If X happens, we are in trouble. If Y happens, we are in trouble.
I mean, I'm really going out on a limb here.
Yeah, of course.
Guy, so don't quote me.
Of course.
Like,
but
quote me. Okay, so let's just talk about like wild, like right tail scenarios where everything goes to shit. Pakistan slips Iran a nuke and they detonate it on some aircraft carriers, or that's really the only thing I can think of. Iran is so screwed. There's really nothing else.
That's the only lose condition for us is if Pakistan gives Iran a nuke.
I'm really going out on a limb. I don't think they'd do that.
Jeez.
Like, why would they want a war on their? Why would they want to start World War III? They don't care. They're not. Again, they're not. This gets into it. Like when you analyze geopolitical scenarios as like an armchair quarterback, you don't understand what people who have been doing it like in the geopolitical macro trading trenches for 20 years like me have seen, which is that most of this is a fade. It's always more nuanced than it looks. Don't short things with unbounded upside like oil futures, even if you're absolutely right. Find other ways to express the trade, more elegant ways to express the trade. Pakistan, they're not 12er Shia Islam. I think they're a different branch of that ideology. And so they're not going to go in and risk World War III to help out the incapacitated son who's the third Ayatollah of the last 3 days, right? They're not going to do that. So I don't think
that
this
part
is
is crazy. Of the last 3 days is nuts.
Okay,
what do you think about all this? You tapped in with Professor Jang. You watch Jang at all? You know who that is?
I don't. I'm too old.
Okay, he's good. You should watch him. He does all these like, what do you think of this asymmetric warfare and Iran's ability as being crippled and incapacitated to still cause extreme damage, fuck with our supply chain, blow up oil fields, refineries, whatever, kind of like what, Ukraine has been able to do in Russia?
Ukraine has the backing of the United States. Iran, I think, I just don't put them in the same category, frankly. I think Israel's so deeply infiltrated Iran that they're going to have a hard time, driving a truck full of explosives halfway to where it needs to be, let alone like threatening global supply chain.
Iran sort of has China and Russia, though, in theory.
Not really. In theory, yes. In
theory.
Practice, no. China and Russia have basically, they're two very different entities, right? Like Russia's an oil producer. They want they want the Strait of Hormuz to be closed forever.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
China has the opposite
Fair
problem.
about Russia, yeah.
So they're not going to aid Iran in a conflict that actually chokes their own supply. They get a lot of oil from the Gulf. So, and even if they didn't, the Gulf being closed raises the price of all oil. Yeah, I just don't see China being too helpful here. Russia's got its own problems. They're tied up.
Fair.
In the Ukraine. They're not going to be like helping fight Iran's war against
Russia
the United
benefits
States.
from Russia benefits from this, right? The strait being closed and
that's right.
Oil
That's
being
right.
squeezed. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, it's kind of an electric combo, Jonah. You brought some heat today. I'm not gonna lie. I'll let you go in a second, but one of the last things I want to ask you is: at what point are you taking a position long or short into oil? Are you a buyer or seller at any point?
Yeah. Put it this way: if there was legitimate regime change in Iran, like if what's his name, Pezeshkian became leader of a democratically elected government, and then I think it would be back to like business as usual in oil fundamentals land, and then I think you could safely. I wouldn't sell the front. I would sell like deck futures, deck 26 futures expiring October, and just let it roll down. As the market kind of succumbs to oversupply again. In the meantime, though, like when given that chart that I shared with you earlier, I don't think taking a Delta 1 position in oil is a very intelligent idea right now. If I were still an active oil market participant, which I'm not, I'm retired, I would be selling options here because they're probably still wildly overvalued. Part of the reason why the move was so dampened is because the market is naturally long optionality. And so when you're long gamma and the price goes up, you have a lot of extra price to sell, which is probably what smacked it back down yesterday after the weekend. So if I were in the seat, I would be selling options. Since I'm not in the seat, I'm just going to wait for the dust to settle and then play it from the short side.
I appreciate the explanation. Is there any like concluding thought, summary, sign off that you would like to leave people with to watch out for, to look out for, to think about as we go on the next couple of weeks through this conflict?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say if we get another flare up, which is always possible, use it to accumulate things you like from the long side that are selling off in sympathy with geopolitical problems. I would say that's the most elegant retail sort of thread guy listener trade expression that you can benefit from because you get great entry points as a result of these things. I would not, unless you feel like you have some sort of like insider edge, try to trade the ultimate insider market, crude oil, from either the long or the short side, unless you're counting barrels and doing systematic strategies and really have some sort of discernible edge.
I love it. Jonah, 1000X pod. You know we're fans over here, man. I appreciate you coming on. Honestly, it was electric.
We're fans of you too.
I'm excited to fire some clips out. It was electric, man. Thanks for coming on,
I got
dude.
some thread guy. I showed it on the 1000X pod earlier. I got some crude oil for you today.
No way.
Yeah, I'm long a little bit.
Wait, what is that? What is that?
It's crude oil.
What, like, how did you get that? What is it? Like, what is it literally?
I worked at Vitol. This is literally crude oil.
Yeah, that's insane. Can you buy that?
Yeah, you could probably grab it. When I worked at Vitol, I just asked one of our refinery guys to send me a sample. He sent me.
It's just like on your desk.
Yeah, he sent me a jar of crude oil. I've still got my diesel, my Vin diesel here. I lost my jet fuel and my naphtha, but I've still got that, so it's pretty cool. I had some gasoline too.
That was awesome, dude. Thank you, Jonah. You're the man,
Commodities
bro.
Corner.
Commodities Corner. I appreciate you, brother. Until next time.
See you later.
Have a good one. Peace. All right, one of us is retarded. Who is it? Me or him? One of us is, or it's somewhere in the middle. One of us is retarded. Who is it? Who is it? Honestly, who is it? Is it us? Is it us or him? Who is it? Who is it? I need to see this headline. I have got to see this headline. Tulip King Daniel, please. Find me this headline of... By the way, guy's cinema. He's objectively cinema. Middle but leaning towards you. He's cinema. Shout out to John. I appreciate him coming on. He's a really smart guy. He's a really smart guy. Honestly, that was electric. That was, I mean, you got to admit, that was an electric interview. When chats acted like that, that was electric. I was trying not to like, yeah. That was funny. I have yet to see this headline though. U.S. insured tanker went through Hormuz. Colin Rugg. This is it. Supposedly from. I'm gonna just DM him. I'm gonna DM him. I'm gonna say. God, the lighting is so annoying. Let me DM him on Twitter. I can't find him on Discord, even though we just had him on Discord. Hold on. Let's say, send over those headlines to when you get a chance. That was awesome. Thanks, man. Oil's getting crushed right now. Did we miss a Trump headline too? Colin, 1L or 2? 2 L's. Colin Rugg. All right, let's see. Colin Rugg, co-owner of Trending Politics, investor and American. Is this whole account just slop? This is a brutal Twitter account, man. Jeez. The whole account is just fucking video slop. Merchant vessel Seaway Hawk transporting decommissioned U.S. Navy Avenger class mine countermeasure ships, USS Devastator. The 4 minesweepers we had in the Gulf arrived in Philadelphia yesterday to be scrapped and decommissioned. Wow. This account is so brutal. Dude, I'm not seeing this headline anywhere. I'll believe it when I see it. Bro, let's do this. God, what a brutal Twitter account, man. Guy just like wakes up and tweets this shit every day. Not one original thought, just he's only tweeted Hormuz once in his life. He's tweeted Hormuz once ever. And it reads, Justin, President Trump responds after CBS News reported that Iran is taking steps to deploy mines through the shipping lane of the Strait of Hormuz. CBS reported that Iran has estimated 6,000 naval mines. Jesus. If Iran has to put out any mines in the Hormuz Strait, he's tweeted Hormuz once, ever. Ever. I don't know, guys, about this. Let's see headlines real quick. Trump, I'm proud to announce that America's first refining is opening. First new U.S. oil refinery in 50 years in Brownsville, Texas. I didn't mean to deny your message, by the way, the retarded thing. My bad. Yeah, chat. Dude, I have like schizo follow. We're gonna keep going in a second. I've schizo followed this over the last 2 weeks, and I did not see that headline anywhere. I feel like if that headline was real, today's cancellation of the headline wouldn't have mattered, unless I've completely lost it. Let me get up real quick and be back in 30 seconds. Then we'll keep going on stream.
Last year I was dead broke. I was one day away from trying to sell clothes. Probably would've messed it up being dead or in jail. I was finished sell Yaden, hit me on the sale. Like, damn, you the true dog, alley you dog. We could run this whole shit like Dre and Snoop dog. Hey, cash out. You know the whole love to see you bring it. You know the road with a nigga bring it. You know they all love a nigga when you rolling in my hoop, do you get me from A to B? I'm good in my hood, them niggas don't play with me. This party Flacco, yeah, the niggas that can't see. We the one who set the trends, what they gonna say to me? Hey, what they gonna say to me? We the one who set the trends, man, that's just the way it be. Hey, pay a toll, pay a fee. Hey, nigga pregnancy. Hey, fuck a lane, legacy. Hey.
I'm dead nice, should be paid off a net price alone. Visit financing, get my debts right. Visit your mama after, cause the head right. I spread the best advice, invest tight. Word. Would've got Kanye West out of debt twice. Nah, cause I'm just trying to be the greatest genius as Jesus. My terms of condition to go over heads like the set price.
All right. Let's do a quick intermission. Sources indicate that Netanyahu died in an Iranian airstrike. No way that's true. Stop. Why even post that? There's no way that's true. What sources? Stop. It's not true. It's like almost a 0% chance that's true. No. Yeah, that's obviously not true. All right. Let's do a quick transition. There's a vlog. Bro's on a watch list because he wanted to be funny in a Twitch chat. Let's do a quick transition. There is a infamous vlog that has gone really viral over the last 2 days. I think it's like 24 hours old. Chat, you guys want to watch it? First like 10 minutes? You want to watch it? It's gone so viral. You want to watch it? Headline is, I brought my Secret Service to Erewhon. You want to watch it? Come on, be honest. Do you want to watch it? Be honest, be honest, be honest, be honest. Secret Service and Erewhon, it's kind of cinema. Let's watch a few minutes.
Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel. Right now we are in Erewhon,
It's not like I normally watch these or anything, but it's on the feed.
which is in LA. This is me in an Erewhon video and everything I get from Erewhon. If you guys don't know Erewhon's the most expensive grocery store pretty much out there. Everything's crazy expensive.
Not true, by the way. I don't feel like it's not the most expensive ever.
So we're gonna get my favorite stuff, even supplements, whatever it may be, and then we're gonna go home and try it out.
Let me know if you guys have any questions on the price or anything, okay?
How much is sweaters? The Haley Bieber. Oh my god.
Okay, this thing has gotten crazy controversy because it was posted 24 hours ago. And the timing is just a little bit.
They really laid out the red carpet for you.
I'm gonna go like bankrupt with this. I'm gonna need to file for bankruptcy. Me and Matt were just talking about peptides. That's why it's funny.
Collagen. Wait, does that mean it's good for you, like your skin?
Collagen
Yeah,
mentioned.
It's supposed to help your skin. So we get $44 up here. We call it. Oh, I'm like kind of scared to try the peptide out. Collagen creamer. Is this really good coffee?
Looks like it.
Right?
Do you think it's like a scene in here? Like, do you think there's like
What are these? These are just
everyone
like
is watching
collagen
her and
puffs,
everyone knows who
flavored.
she is?
Yeah. Should I just try it? I'll get like one of these to try it out. Right? I mean, that's fine. Oh, these are like nice. I love dates. Should we get a date jar for $13?
I was
Like the
forced
dates
to
are what,
watch this, by the
$2?
way.
The jar with the sticker on it.
It's like
$16.
We should have got it fast.
Oh, here's the fun aisle.
Literally who, you say? It's Trump's granddaughter.
I love these perfect amino ones.
Oh, you know this brand?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what this is. Should we just get whatever?
Yeah, I think that's like their white label, like Erewhon brand.
Who's talking? Secret Service?
What's a shop hop?
Secret Service, like an avid Erewhon shopper? Who's talking?
Would you try one with me?
Super greens or what? Sure, do it. Let's
No. I'll make you a liquid shop hot tea.
I don't need more energy. We just had 80 energy drinks.
Oh,
Let's do the immune support.
Are there like guys with guns behind her or no? Probably not, right?
Oh my god, this is the cholesterol we were talking about.
Oh yeah, the Armor.
Oh, this
Like
is
how many Secret Service agents are there?
Oh, here you go. This is the good stuff. The stress relieving.
Oh, you know I take
Stress
ashwagandha every night.
Stress relieving ashwagandha. There you go.
I'm ashwagandha. I ball nowhere.
The next one on. You need some digestion enzymes.
I think I'm good on those ones.
I don't really digest very well.
I think we're good on those ones.
This is sea moss. I'll make 2 scary fried sea moss.
The price is
These are all
sending
great.
me.
Yeah,
I'm not
where
gonna
should
lie.
we go next?
Well, those are all like your different oils and things.
Popping the price up on everything is sending me.
Oh, you see that those? I have one of these. The filtered shower head.
Oh,
It
yeah.
filters all the bad stuff out of your water.
Oh.
Malcolm.
Should we get a candle? No, I'd rather get a water bottle than a candle.
Oh!
That's crazy.
Oh!
I'd rather get a water bottle than a candle.
Oh!
That's crazy. Wait, guys, one thing about me, I don't spend like a lot of money. Like, I'm very, like, I don't spend a lot.
What do you think your cart total is going to be?
This is probably 100 already.
Oh, wait, show me your cart. Show me.
Should we get Erewhon soda? Should we get a kombucha? I don't really like it.
Kai, I don't think you can purchase.
Oh, wait, that's alcohol. I didn't realize that was alcohol. Alright, what kind of sushi are we feeling that?
The prices are so funny, dude.
I've heard it's some of the best grocery stores sushi you can have.
What's this? Is this salmon?
It looks like salmon, yeah.
She buys $21 Haley Baby Smoothie. I mean, bro, it's like we've all bought a $21 Haley Baby Smoothie before.
Let's just get tuna.
Yeah, I think do the tuna.
Like, let's be honest, we all have bought one before.
Alright,
Everyone here has bought a
Hot
$21
foods?
smoothie
Or you want to start with
before
smoothie?
from Haley Baby from Erewhon.
Where's the smoothie at?
Smoothies up at
Like,
the top.
everyone here has
I think
done
it's two
that.
separate lines. We can do hot. Let's do hot.
Obviously, we've
Let's do
all
hot.
done that together.
one thing about me is I hate filming in public, so it's just like so awkward right now for me. Me and the green short ribs. Safety meal.
Buffalo cauliflower again?
Yeah.
The best. By the way,
It has
buffalo
to be,
cauliflower
right?
is
I
the
can eat it all.
Yeah,
best.
I'll have some of it.
We're not gonna finish this vlog, by the way.
The rice balls with the
Can we get
sauce.
the rice balls, please?
You want the sauce on it?
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Alright, I'm not good. I hate this so much. I can't watch.
You want to get a spot check?
Where's this one's
Oh, I'm suffering. Ah, don't make me watch anymore, guys. Stop. Please stop.
Does it say Matt?
I don't know. Nancy.
Nah, not Matt. Not Matt.
Nope. Pretty.
Alright, guys, so we're looking at the juices. Let's get this one. The lavender lemonade. Sounds
What
good.
is that?
Lavender
Please
lemonade.
stop.
That sounds good.
All right. Well, look. It was on my list for today because there was a lot of controversy surrounding this vlog. Because it came out yesterday, okay? And as you know, we are currently at war and it's a little tone deaf. It is a little bit tone deaf. Here's where we currently are. This is outdated, huh? Current. If Calvin is right. Oh, yeah, I forgot to ask. Calvin or Jonah? Where do we stand? Where do we stand, Calvin or Jonah? Between the two, where do we stand? Where do we stand? Mostly Calvin. Got a little distracted, huh? Someone, poll. I'm with Kai Trump, TBH. Rocking with Kai. All right. Bullish Garrett, as everyone knows, is the 9-10 fig whale on Hyperliquid, who was very wrongfully bullish not that long ago. Posted an article and is basically saying that oil is going to billions. Let's cover it. It's one of the last things to do today. I don't think tomorrow will be all Hormuz, but look, I cover the fucking news. Low-key missed the interview today, can't vote. Just vote anyways, fuck it. Go with like name physiognomy. I gotta rock with Calvin. I mean, bro, they fucking stopped my boy out the order books. All right, here's the article. It's pretty quick. It's like long, but we've annotated it pretty well. Shout out Tulip King and DNAP. All right. Hormuz is the battlefield. Core thesis. We have argued since day one that the market was not pricing the duration of the Hormuz disruption, which I, until proven otherwise, believe is still closed. Oh, wait. I got a DM. I got a DM from Jonah. What do we have? Just in. Ships are beginning to safely make it through the Strait of Hormuz. Again, as the U.S. military masterfully disseminates the Iranian Navy. President Trump told oil tankers, quote, show some guts. They have no Navy. We sunk all their ships. March 9th. Grok, is this true? I hate that I'm doing this. Yes, largely true. About the ships. Decimates. That doesn't really look like ships are going through. Wait. Does that look like ships are going through? Did Jonah get doomered? Wait, are they going through or not? No, I'm reading what you're saying. Transponders are off, gang, but they're not going through. I mean, I don't know. I'm unsure about that. Is there a date on that? That is, fuck my life. That is very questionable to me. New satellite navigation interference observed near the coast of Ras Al Khaimah. A new satellite navigation interference pattern was detected off the coast. Unlike the typical single point cluster commonly known as signal jamming, the interference creates the appearance of vessels moving in a straight line towards the Strait of Hormuz, even though the vessels are not actually following that trajectory. Further analysis, playback confirms this movement is artificial. Vessel tracks show clear inconsistencies when compared with simultaneous vessel movements and reported headings, indicating that the apparent transit is the result of navigation interference rather than real vessel activity. Okay, so it's fake. Hello, Stowe. I'm geeked. From a market monitoring perspective, okay, so it's fake. They're not actually sailing there. Gas is $8.22 per gallon in LA. That can't be true. Chat, I think it's fake. What? Okay, apparently the article explains this GPS stuff. Who is this? Chief Content Officer. Does this guy look like he's telling the truth? Physiognomy read, yes or no? Is this guy have the answer to the Strait of Hormuz? Yes or no? Yes or fucking no? Wait, I have a tweet. I have to locate a tweet.
Iran has a new supreme leader. What does that mean for your military effort and the
Everyone bear with me while I find this tweet.
In Israel?
That means the system is quite functioning.
So the United States says it's drastically degraded the Iranian military, the capabilities as far as missiles is concerned, drones is concerned. How much longer can you do this?
This is driving me a bit nuts.
False narratives.
Yeah, some ships might be turning off their transponders and going forward. By watching who gets near to Hormuz and who appears on the other side, we can get a picture. It's not good. Look at this.
As you see.
Commercial ships seen transiting the waterway out of the Persian Gulf. It's basically zero.
As a matter of fact, we are not dependent on any other country for weapons and arms.
Dude, I think you got doomered. I think Jonah got doomered, bro. It's zero.
Do you consider this an existential threat to the Islamic Republic?
It is an existential threat to the Islamic Republic. And
is there a video playing? My bad.
With full might. as we are doing now.
What's
Is your
playing?
side
Fuck my
seeking, or
life.
will you seek a ceasefire with the United States at this point in time, and with Israel?
I don't see any room for diplomacy.
I don't even know what's playing.
Because Donald Trump has been deceiving others, and not keeping with his promises. And we experienced it in 2 times of negotiations, that while we were engaged in negotiation, they struck us.
Fuck my
How
life. What's
does
playing?
all of
Hold on,
this
I have to
end
find it now.
then? If you say right now there's no room for negotiation, President Trump says he wants complete surrender.
There's too many fucking tabs
what does that
open.
lead to?
There's no room unless...
Oh, I found it. I found it! Dude, I think he got... I think he got, Doomer. Check Stoke Savage. They nuked Twitter search, bro. It's so annoying. I can't even, like... There it is. Oh, threadguy's... threadguy's monitoring situation so fucking hard to stream right now. Bless his heart. Stoic, I love you, bro. Dude, I dead ass think he got doomered. I'm not kidding. I think he legitimately... I wish I could retweet that. I think Jonah got doomered. This shit is fucking fake, bro. This fake ass headline. You cannot convince me. Like, watch. Before I read the Garrett Bullish article, which I'm not sure if it's signal or not, if this was real and there really was ships making it through right now, oil does not react like this on the deleted tweet. It just doesn't. Oil does not dump like this on news that the U.S. successfully escorted an oil tanker through the strait. It just doesn't. If we're already doing it, it just doesn't. Also, I'm not going to be the math guy, but we did... Are we going to believe the Jew or your lying eyes? It's like, bro, I don't know. Believe neither of us. Believe nothing. We're in a headline-ass market. We're just trading Twitter headlines. Nothing, none of it's real. Trump could come out today and say the war is over and we just have to take him at face value. But the math on this just doesn't math. It doesn't math. And so I think he got doomered. I really do. Let's finish this. Let's read this article. Who's Jonah? We just had him on the stream. He's like the inverse of Calvin is who he is. All right, let's read this article real quick. Let's read this article, and then this is probably the last thing we're going to do for today. Garrett Bullish, who I'm not sure is Signal, but he has a lot of money. Where it came from, I also don't know. threadguy, you needed to push back on Avi claiming that tankers were going through Hormuz, is Jonah. That was a serious claim and don't see data either. Bro, I did push back. What do you mean? I said, Jonah, I don't think that's true. He said, it's true. I said, are you sure? I'm almost positive it's not true. He said, I'm sure. I said, then why did the market dump? Why did oil dump when the announcement was made that the U.S. ship got escorted through? He said, well, there's a lot of headlines. Bro, I did push back hard, by the way. I said, you're wrong. I said, send me the source. And so he sent me the source, and we've just decided that this is the source. This is the source. I mean, we got the source. Bro, I'm not here to decide who's right and who's wrong. I'm here to let the people come on stream and talk. And then at the very end, I am going to make my own decision is what we're going to do. And so that's what we did. We made our fucking own decision. We debunked it, and this is the source. So, all right, Garrett Bullish, I got to refocus. I'm getting hit from all corners right now. By the way, I'm on like day 7 of studying geopolitics. Also, Thicky, that quote is crazy. Thicky, that quote is insane. The cutoff is insane. All right, core thesis, Garrett Bullish. We've argued since day 1 that the market was not pricing in the duration of the Hormuz disruption. The U.S. is trapped in a war. It is winning tactically and losing strategically. Unable to exit without surrendering its entire Middle East alliance system, yet unable to end the crisis from air. This is one of the pushbacks as well. Jonah says that we can. Calvin says we can't. Everyone else is somewhere in the middle. What's true? I'm not sure. The only remaining decent exit is the G-Trump summit, which is when? Relatively soon. But Beijing has no overwhelming incentive to help unless the price is enormous. If diplomacy fails, The logic of the situation points towards ground troops and an empire's graveyard that dwarfs Afghanistan. Okay, it's at the end of March. Trump is going to China. Trump's going to Beijing. 10 days in, the war nobody planned for. On February 28th, the United States and Israel launched Operation Epic Fury / Roaring Lion. I haven't heard that. The most intense aerial campaign against a sovereign nation since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. In 11 days, we've killed the supreme leader and 48 plus senior officials. By any conventional military metric, this is overwhelming dominance. And yet, Iran is not surrendered. Khomeini's son has been appointed the new supreme leader, and the IRGC has sworn allegiance. The Strait of Hormuz remains functionally closed. Only 9 commercial vessels have been through since March 3rd. Bro, that's what I'm saying. I feel like we've been monitoring this really close, and ships are not going through. Only 9 commercial vessels, and I believe all of them are owned and or pretending to be owned by China. That is what I understand. If I'm off, please correct me, but I just am not missing shit, bro. I'm not missing shit. I'm not missing shit, bro. I'm not missing shit. Crude has surged 64%. The paradox is stark. Bro, it's just like the oil experts are trying to oil expert me, and I'm a Twitter expert. At the end of the day, this isn't an oil market. This is a Twitter market. I'm a Twitter expert. That's what, brother, this is a Twitter war. Okay? We just read it, bro. We just read it. World War X. Iran is glued to X. It responded just 20 minutes after the now deleted Chris Wright post. Global war means trolling your enemy on X now, ideally with memes. Bro, I'm a fucking Twitter expert. I'm a Twitter expert. This is what I fucking do, man. This is what I do. This is what I do. I am an elite armchair quarterback. It's what I'm one of the best in the world at curating armchair opinions. This is what I do, bro. The paradox is stark. America is winning every battle and losing the war. The coalition has destroyed Iran's conventional military, but the real battlefield was never in Iranian airspace. It's the 33 kilometer wide Strait of Hormuz, and it remains firmly in Iranian hands. Part 2. Why the strait cannot be reopened. The Strait of Hormuz is functionally closed, not because Iran has laid a wall of mines across the channel, but because no rational ship owner will send a vessel through it, and no one will cover one that tries. This is where we are. This is where we are. This is the product of 2 reinforcing forces: physical threat and insurance collapse. Both must be understood together. The strait is also being closed by invisible means: GPS jamming and spoofing. Attribution is ambiguous. Both state militaries and Iran-aligned forces have capacity and incentive. But, fuck, this one's fucking me up. Attribution is also irrelevant to the market impact. What matters is the duration implication. Even a credible ceasefire headline does not instantly reopen Hormuz if the electronic environment remains degraded. Also, we have to do some level of calculation as to how much infra damage has already been done. Also, look, we're candling live. Ships are not getting through. This is telling you otherwise. Look at this fake ass dump. This fake ass dump on oil. Talking about the U.S. insured a ship that got through, but it didn't happen. Now who's lying? I have no idea. I don't even know anymore. I don't even know who's lying anymore. I have no fucking clue. The IRGC does not need a functioning navy to make Hormuz impassable. It has an arsenal of cheap, dispersed, and practically inexhaustible methods to threaten any vessel transiting the strait. Asymmetric warfare. Professor Jang speaks to this. A lot of people have come out and called Professor Jang retarded, but I thought he had some pretty good takes. The cost of asymmetry is devastating. We learned about this a week ago. The Shahed drones. Do you remember we did the Shaheed segment like 2 weeks ago? They cost $50,000 and it cost like $4 million to intercept them and like 4 interceptors. And then they reverse engineered our drone. They made the Shaheed. And then we reverse engineered their reverse engineering and made the Lucas. So we reversed the reversed. The physical threat alone didn't close Hormuz. What closed it was the global marine insurance response to that threat. This is what is been largely uncovered, even by us, is this insurance situation here where no one wants to insure these ships. Even if ceasefire were announced tomorrow, rebuilding the insurance architecture would take weeks. JWC must reassess risk zones. P&I clubs must re-underwrite. Ship owners must sign new contracts. Crew must agree to sail. Ports must accept new coverage. The minimum recovery timeline from a credible ceasefire signal to 50% transit recovery is 3 to 4 weeks. The base case is 6 to 10. Meanwhile, we're like, Trump told oil takers, show some guts. It's like, all right, fuck, show some guts. Let's skip a little. Show some guts, guys. Like there's like water mines. It's like mine-infested waters. He's like, bro, just get it through. Whatever you got to do. Quit being a bitch. Get it through. Trump ordered the U.S. Development Finance Corporation, the DFC, to provide political risk insurance for Gulf shipping. The assessment. Specific terms still have not been published. Even under the most optimistic assumptions, DFC implementation to first vessel departure requires 1 to 2 weeks. And one successful Iranian attack on a transiting commercial vessel would instantly destroy all confidence in the insurance recovery normalization thesis. And so this is why when Chris Wright made that tweet that a U.S. escorted ship made it through, it was such a big deal because you can now underwrite these insurance contracts, these ships. We can start like basically processing the backlog of shipping. And also, yeah, the crews aren't military. They didn't sign up for this. No, they didn't. The inherent logic of Iran's selective blockade is to sustain, not shorten duration. The longer it lasts, the more leverage Iran accumulates. We saw what happened when oil went over $100. Trump tacoed. Like, Iran basically exposed the weak point in the U.S. to back the fuck off and figure out how to get oil over 100. Right? We read that tweet. Figure out how to get oil over 100 and you effectively are in control again. Here. If I'm Iran, I'm doing everything possible to make sure Gulf oil production gets shut in. You found Trump's pain point. And guess what? It's not that hard. 1 day of crude above 100. And look at this thing. There it goes. I told you guys in the pit, I'm fucking long and I'm not selling. I got long on this fake wick. It just feels like the information that we have covered versus what's being stated publicly and how the market is trading, there's such a big separation. Now, the problem is we're trading a Twitter headline market, which I have absolutely zero edge in whatsoever. But, dude, we're just doing the legwork, man. I feel like we're tapped in right now. The longer it lasts, the more leverage Iran accumulates. And the more unbearable the political and economic costs become for Washington. This is the exact opposite of what markets initially priced. Here's the thing as well. And the reason that I thought today was so significant is that Trump has already tacoed. He already tacoed. After this weekend PA, Brent got to 120. He tacoed, said the war is almost over. He tacoed the taco and said, but we're not done. And now he's in this like tacoception spot where nobody really believes the taco. We now have this mine escalation happening where they're dropping mines in the strait. He was sort of acting like they weren't doing it, but then he follows up the announcement to say we gunned down 10 ships already. So it's like, no, the mines are happening. We are kind of in a spot that is burning the boats, and it's tougher to take the taco seriously after you've already done it once. And so we're kind of just candling. All right. The Hormuz crisis described above creates a problem that has no military solution. The strait is not held by a navy that can be sunk. It is held by dispersed, asymmetric threats costing a fraction of what it takes to counter them, and by the global insurance system's rational response to risk. Every escalation feeds directly into the models that keep Hormuz shut. More bombing equals longer closure. Announcement. What do you have? 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 By the way, I need everyone in here with fucking Zero Hedge. I know, I'm sorry, but Zero Hedge and Bloomberg on noties. What do we got? Oh, this is sick. We'll come back to this. Shout out Polymarket. Okay, we're almost done. The can't say, can't leave trap. Why Trump can't exit. The core cost of withdrawal is not political embarrassment. It is a strategic surrender of the entire American position in the Middle East. An exit without decisive outcome means, 1, handing over Gulf allies. 100%. 2, ceding the oil architecture. Pricing power, petrodollar recycling, investment flows, capital flight from U.S. orbit. Yeah, this is the big one. This is probably, I mean, these Gulf sovereign wealth funds have put how much money into U.S. assets already? And we've got them in this. We've kind of like turned our back on them. We're getting them bombed. We're getting them in this massive situation. Israel exposed. Netanyahu's October election hinges on continued U.S. support. I didn't know this was in October. Nuclear reconstruction. In short, exiting means surrendering the entire Middle East alliance system and the oil capital and security architecture behind it. No American president, especially not one who brands himself as a deal maker, can accept that. This is the trap. Trump cannot exit without a victory big enough to justify the cost. He cannot sustain indefinite air campaign as oil climbs, inflation accelerates, and his own base fractures. And the core problem, Hormuz has no air-based solution. There is, however, a quiet irony buried in this deadlock. While Trump faces acute political pressure to resolve this crisis, rising gas prices, a fracturing base, midterm elections in November, the structural fiscal dynamics of a prolonged conflict are not entirely unfavorable to the United States as a sovereign borrower. Wartime inflation erodes the real value of the $36 trillion in predominantly fixed rate federal debt. Defense spending inflates nominal GDP, and the dollar's reserve status allows Washington to finance operations at rates no other belligerent could sustain. This is the same mechanism that shrank the U.S. debt to GDP from 120% after World War II to 30% by the 70s. The urgency, in other words, is Trump's, not necessarily America's. This distinction matters. It suggests that the institutional machinery of the U.S. government may not be as desperate for a rapid exit as the president's political calendar implies, but the mechanism has limits. If oil sustains above 150, which, by the way, that's a fucking crazy target. That's like a big if. That's a very big if. For multiple months and inflation expectations become unanchored, the benign inflate away the debt story flips into a credibility crisis for the dollar and the Fed. The line between helpful inflation and destructive inflation is not visible until that line has been crossed. 150 is a crazy target. We're basically done here. But yeah, there's only one option left if we can't force a surrender and Trump wants to achieve the goals that were initially laid out, and that is ground troops, which would be a disaster. Yeah, I'm going to just skip through because I'm tired of reading, but okay, here's a conclusion of the whole thing. Hormuz is the real battlefield and has no military solution. Okay, this is very important. It's closed, but not by a physical blockade, which makes it very difficult to like reopen. Duration is the variable that matters most. The longer this goes on, the more of a clusterfuck situation we have with supply chain, oil production, oil distribution. The G Trump summit is the last credible off-ramp. I'm not sure that I necessarily agree with this. Without a diplomatic exit, the logic of escalation takes over. For markets, the asymmetry is clear. Yeah. Basically, until we get Hormuz back open, everything else is like feels like it's noise. It is not open. It is absolutely not open right now. And so you tell me what you think. Because I definitely am getting this feeling that what we're being told publicly and how markets are trading right now versus Rhino said I'm achieving peak psychosis. Hell yeah. Versus where we are actually at has a pretty big dispersion. So that's where we are, chat. There's a disconnect. Who's right is extremely unclear. Bitcoin sits here at 69.6. Who is right? Very unclear. But there's information fragmentation, which is nice because that means there's fucking trades on the table. The biggest winner of all of this, by the way, got to give Jonah credit if he actually traded it, is Hyperliquid. With a new Bloomberg article as well. Oil has become the momentum trade of choice on Hyperliquid, the crypto exchange fast emerging as a round-the-clock venue for leveraged commodity bets. I love this take from Van Spencer. Every asset will have its 15 minutes of meme stock fame now that they all have perps. Hyperliquid. And this is the crude pair on HL is 1.1. It's basically been sustaining $1 billion of volume over 24 hours, like for multiple days. It's really impressive how much Hyperliquid is benefiting from this. Honestly, God bless Hyperliquid. The other winner from this as well is, let's see if I have the chart. Circle. Circle, circle, circle. Look at this. Fucking beauty of a chart. I mean, absolute beauty of a chart. Circle. And Vance had a tweet. These are Goldilocks macro conditions for stablecoins. Stablecoins benefit from higher nominal rates, higher inflation, larger debt to GDP ratios, and wider credit spreads. This is why Circle and Sky are rallying. Tether would be mooning right now if it was public. Wait, this is pre-recorded? No, it's live, brother. Crazy how Circle is performing right now. Hyperliquid and stablecoins are fighting the good fight for us. And I'm not going to lie, chat, if there was ever a time for you to say, wow, Bitcoin actually has a purpose in this world, it is during a global war. I mean, that's just objectively the answer here, is that if there was ever a time, it's probably right about now. Right about now. By the time you realize you need Bitcoin, it's too late. And so that's that. And rattling it off, this is, I honestly can't believe this, is Meta bought Molebook, which is, we learned this yesterday, or we learned it this morning. Shocking? Really? I mean, this feels like a very weird move. Mark Zuckerberg is like the best in the world at being really late to a trend and sizing up big time. He's really good. Now, he has way more money than me. He's done way better than me. But he's one of the best in the world at that. At coming in late and just slamming. So, unclear how much he paid for it. I really want to know. But somebody's got to top blast it. And if not him, then who? And chat. That's stream today. That, my friends, is the stream today. I mean, like, before I go, how are we feeling? I know are we spending too much time talking about war? I think no. Because it's like the single most important topic as it relates to markets. And what's happening in the order books right now because of this war is just. I mean, guys, let's talk for a minute. Actually, I'm not going to destroy the stream. Let's talk for a minute. I mean, it's like setting the precedent for modern war, the admin, and how things move and react. I mean, we're like living through history right now. And I just think this is one of the most important tweets I've ever read. I really need you to like understand the implications of this. Iran is glued to X. It responded just 20 minutes after the now deleted Chris Wright post. This is about the U.S. insuring a tanker. Global war means trolling your enemy on X now, ideally with memes. War is fought with drones and tweets in 2026. And social implications is undeniably priority of all of this now. I mean, we're fighting. I mean, this is a headline war. We have no information. Satellites are delayed by 2 weeks. The tankers are shutting off their GPS. We have no clue who's actually getting through the strait. We have no clue how many missiles Iran has. We have no clue how many interceptors the U.S. has. We know nothing. We just listen to what everybody says on both sides on Twitter, and we do our own interpretation of it, and then we try to figure out what's along. Is basically what this is. And I've never lived through like modern war, really. Not in a position of being conscious and alive and able to trade and having money and a platform. Russia-Ukraine wasn't, like U.S. was directly involved, but not at this level. I also wasn't really trading when like peak Russia-Ukraine. I was like, I just like had like NFTs, but I wasn't really watching and paying attention. This is like a canon event for you as a market trader. Also, the fact that this can happen in the Chris Wright deleted post, and then immediately after this comes out, they're dropping mines, and the market whipsaws like this, and you think to yourself, it's an info war, bro. Yeah, I like that. It's a fucking info war, and we're living through it. And dude, I feel like we're doing a fucking good job of covering it. I'm not gonna lie. All things considered. Am I in the middle of a psychosis right now after an AI psychosis? Maybe. But what the fuck's the point if not? Like, bro, you can't ever call the conspiracy theorists crazy again. Ever. Aliens are real. Epstein files are real. You can't ever call anyone a conspiracy theorist. It's like the whole game is social. And so imagine when markets are hot again and we're talking about coins and narrative rotations and what to long and everything's up only. We spent the last 2 months learning everything we could about AI, and then Anthropic versus the Department of War, and then Israel bombing Iran, and then Iran attacking us, and then Iran attacking the GCC, and then us attacking Iranian oil refineries, and then them closing the Strait of Hormuz, how oil's transported, boots on the ground. Like, bro, the last 2 months, we've covered like a ridiculous amount of stuff. So we're fucking leveling up. I'm not going to do market open tomorrow. I'm not. I got a physical therapy appointment. I have to go. I got to get my shoulder fixed because it's a Euro summer, and my shirt's coming off the south of France if we make it that far. I got to fix my shoulder. Small boats with Jane Street logo seen in the Strait of Hormuz. No cap, I learned a lot of different topics due to your streams. Thanks. Chat, you feel like you're fully informed on the current thing based off my stream alone? Like if you just pull up the stream, you feel fully informed with the current thing? Am I missing anything? My guys, man. All right, I'll show the pit one more time. You cover a lot of ground. I'm doing my best. Houdini, I'm hyped that you liked it so much. What did you like so much? The Jonah thing? What did you like so much? I have this Telegram where I fucking go schizo and freak out every day. The thing I love about the stream is great questions come up, then you run a Claude and level up. Yes, we do, bro. That's what we do. Thanks, G. Appreciate you watching every day, my homie. I see you in here every day. I have this Telegram where I get schizo and fucking freak out every day. And if you want to freak out with me, it's right there. Pit's pretty lit, I'm not going to lie. Pit's been good yesterday, huh? All right, no market open tomorrow, but we will be doing normal stream. We just know ball. Bro, it does feel like, by the way, it's part of the reason I stopped having so many guests on, unless you're like a Calvin. I'd love Stoic Savage. If you're still watching, I would. One day I'm going to get you on stream. I can't wait. I only want the guests on if they're like the best, because I feel like a lot, and this isn't a knock on Jonah, by the way. I loved having Jonah on, but like generally speaking, we bring these guests on and I'm like, damn, we're just like spending more time paying attention. Cal Lloyd, love you. How is Molt not at 100 mil? There's no bigger catalyst. Brother, that's the biggest catalyst. That's the final catalyst. No way. Is that actually Stoic? Pull up to Greece? Brother. Fuck it. I probably would, actually. If that was actually you, I probably would pull up. Oh, Stonic. Damn. Never mind. I'm not coming to fucking Greece. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that shit, man. I'm not coming to fucking Greece. Hell no. Hell no.
When the people
I'm out this shit. I'm out.
They want Jesus Polo Sport and
Tomorrow.
Obama again.
Coming on tomorrow. Same time. 3:30 p.m. EST. I love you. Have a good one. I appreciate y'all. Be good. Y'all be easy. You're not safe for those oil lungs. I promise. You're not safe. That's just in the order books. You're not safe. Love y'all.